subscribe, like the video, and, if possible, join Patreon. But if you don't have much money, you can support the channel by watching the novels on euroaudiobooks.com. Remember that you can participate in the polls so that your favorite novel gets published for free.
Like object floated out, hitting Night Arena. As a result, Night Arena fell to the ground and fell asleep. Night Arena, don't sleep. Get up, get up. Slowpoke, water gun. In the battle. Night Arena, who was rested inexplicably, naturally couldn't avoid this attack and was hit directly. Night Arena loses her ability to fight. Slowpoke wins. After taking Night Arena back, Whitney didn't look disappointed at all, which was noticed by Ash. It seems that she should have placed her hopes on the last Pokémon. Next is you, Clefairy, go on stage. Whitney asked Clefairy beside her again. Clefairy, use Metronome. Metronome is the most luck-testing move. As for why it is said to be a test of luck, because you don't know what special move will be released after Metronome. If you are lucky, you can use a powerful move like Destruction Beam. For Slowpoke, if it is Thunder or Sunshine Flame, which are electric or grass-type special moves, it will be dangerous for Slowpoke. However, in terms of luck, Ash is still one step ahead because in the end, after Metronome was completed, what awaited him was a water splash without any result. Whitney was naturally a little disappointed, but this was also Ash's chance. Slowpoke rocket headbutted and knocked it away. Bang! Clefairy was knocked away. Clefairy loses the ability to fight. Slowpoke wins. From the current point of view, everything seems to be too smooth, but Ash knows very well that Whitney's last Pokémon is extraordinary. In the original book, Ash was defeated by it. Miltank, go! Sure enough, Whitney's last Pokémon is Miltank. Come back, Slowpoke. Ash still took back Slowpoke. Ash, do you have a way to defeat it? It seems that Whitney is very confident in her trump card Miltank. Ash smiled lightly. He made 2 preparations for her Miltank and was not panicked at all. It's decided to be you, Kalava. The second Pokémon Ash sent out was Kalava. Use Kalava? Whitney thought, but no one could stop her secret skills. Miltank rollout. Ash has seen this rollout. When he was at the ranch, he saw Miltank using the slope to perform the ultimate move of rollout. In this ultimate move, the longer it lasts, the stronger the power. However, Ash has already had a countermeasure. Kalava, Flame Wheel will attack head-on. Ash's idea is that since rollout lasts a long time and has great power, he will defeat you in a short time. Kalava also shrank into a sphere, and the Flame Wheel with flames hit Miltank directly. The speed of both sides became faster and faster, and they kept a stalemate. I didn't expect you to attack head-on. This is also a tactic. The rollout trick will indeed become more powerful over time, but as long as I stop you when your Miltank launches the rollout for the first time, it will not increase in power. Not bad. Very good. But how long can you last? On the front battlefield, Miltank and Kalava were still in a stalemate. The 2 sides kept fighting, and neither of them was willing to admit defeat. At this time, Miltank's speed slowed down significantly, and his body turned red from burning. Whitney naturally noticed it and asked in surprise, "What's going on?" It seems that Kalava's burning effect has been activated, and your Miltank may not be able to withstand this temperature. Ash answered. At this time, Miltank finally couldn't hold on and was knocked out by Kalava, and then hit by Flamethrower and lost his ability to fight. Miltank lost his ability to fight. Kalava won. Therefore, the winner this time is Ash from Pallet Town. The referee announced the result. After Whitney took back Miltank, she said to Ash, "I lost to you this time. Here, this is the proof of defeating the gym. The official badge, take it." After Ash took it, he said, "Okay, I got the official badge. Pikachu. By the way, Ash, there will be an insect catching conference in the national park on the outskirts of Goldenrod City tomorrow. I wonder if you are interested in participating." Whitney suggested, "The next gym is a Critique City. Insect catching conference." Misty was already terrified, and it was obvious that she would not agree. "Okay, of course I'll go and capture a Pokémon I've been eyeing for a long time." To be continued. I think people who are familiar with this part of the plot know what Pokémon the protagonist will capture next. The 3rd badge is in hand. Happy reading every day during the National Day. Top up 100 and get 500 VIP points. Top up now, event time, October 1st to October 7th. Chapter 49. Insect catching conference. I met an acquaintance again, seeking support. Misty, don't come with me to this bug catching conference. After all, you are quite afraid of bug Pokemon, and you may not be able to help if you go. It's okay, Ash. At worst, Xiaojing and I will wait for you outside this time. On the way to the national park, Ash originally wanted to come alone, but Misty and Xiaojing insisted on coming. Ash understood Xiaojing's coming, and the most important thing was that Misty also wanted to come. Originally, Ash could scare this little girl away by scaring her with bug Pokemon, but Misty still wanted to come and said that she would not cause trouble for herself. In short, she made a lot of promises. There was no choice. Ash had to agree. It can only be said that Stephanie's mind is really hard to guess. On the way, Xiaogang asked, Ash, the bug Pokemon you want to capture is Scyther, right? Ash nodded. Of course. Uncle Muramace's Masamune and Shingo's Bray left a deep impression on me before. Moreover, Scyther, the evolution of Scyther, is a bug and steel type. I just need a steel type Pokemon. Yes, he really wants to make his team more diverse. In the original work, Ash did not have a steel type Pokemon. This time he wants to make up for the shortcomings of the current team. After all, the steel type attribute is still quite good. Except for the ground type, fighting type, and fire type, no other attribute can cause effective damage. In fact, Ash and his friends encountered Scyther when they were in the Orange Islands, and it was a group. At that time, Tracy captured an old Scyther. It's just that he has never been able to capture the previous version. This time, he has the opportunity to capture one, and he is also looking forward to Scyther's Mega Evolution. When he meets him, he will have one more trump card. Back to the present, Ash and his friends came to the entrance of the national park, and they were greeted by staff wearing Venomoth costumes. Excuse me, what is the prize for winning? The prize is a Sunstone and the insect Pokemon you captured. Sunstone is an evolution stone that can make certain Pokemon evolve. For example, Gloom will evolve into Bellisum after using Sunstone, and Sunkern will evolve into Sunflora after using Sunstone. In addition, Cottonee can also evolve into Whimsicott, Petalil into Lilligant, and Helioptile into Light Helioptile. For this Sunstone, Ash is determined to get it. Then, he asked Misty Xiaojing to stay outside and went in to sign up for the insect catching conference. National Park, as the name suggests, is a park with a very good natural environment. There are many kinds of insect Pokemon living here. The most creepy thing is the Beedrill group that you have to be on guard against at all times. When he signed up, Ash also found an acquaintance. It was the rookie trainer he met for the first time, Casey. During the battle, Ash used his Pidgeot, who had just returned to the team, to directly defeat her 3-in-1. I don't know if it had any effect on her. Hi Ash, long time no see. Before Ash greeted her, Casey saw him first and took the initiative to greet him. Okay, Ash thought too much. Oh, it turned out to be Casey. How about it? Have you been inspired since last time? After the last battle with you, I did a lot of training, and now I'm no longer the same, right, Chikorita? Casey looked at Chikorita at her feet, and Chikorita also waved the leaves on her head, looking energetic. Casey, Chikorita, I'll let you meet a senior. Come out, Bayleaf, Ash said as he threw Bayleaf's Pokemon ball. Bayleaf's large body is much taller than Chikorita, but this Bayleaf is still like a little girl, and she got intimate with Ash as soon as she came out. It's Bayleaf. This is the evolution of her best friend. Casey is of course happy, and Chikorita on the side also looked at Bayleaf with envy, believing that sooner or later she would become like her. After the two signed up, they followed the crowd of all the participating teams and waited quietly for the game to start. According to the rules of the game, trainers can only use one Pokemon, and Ash's choice must be Pikachu. Secondly, when everyone catches insect Pokemon, they cannot use their own Pokemon balls, but must use the park balls specially provided by the park, and each person will receive one. The biggest difference between this park ball and the normal Pokemon ball is that it can be replaced before catching the desired bug Pokemon. When the host ordered the game to start, Ash first said hello to Casey, then ran away and entered the forest at a speed far beyond that of ordinary people. Although it seems that Ash is running around through the upgraded wave power, Ash has probably found the gathering place of Scyther, but he still has to pass through the gathering places of other bug Pokemon on the way. For example, he has to face the tribe of Beedrill To be continued, the second general of bug type is about to be recruited. Please support and encourage him. As a reminder, I will update Ash's Pokémon and your questions from time to time in the work-related section. In addition, I will say it again that Pidgeot has returned in Chapter 4 and is currently training in Professor Oak's laboratory. He will be the instructor of bird Pokémon in the future, so don't ask about Pidgeot anymore. Have fun reading every day on the 11th. Top up 100 and get 500 VIP points. Top up now, event time, October 1st to October 7th. Chapter 50, Insect Catching Conference. Winning? Seeking support? Really? Where's the lucky halo? What happened to me? Ash ran in a hurry and stopped when he saw that there was no lucky halo behind him. What happened? It turned out that Ash rushed in with Pikachu at the speed of a flying man. His purpose was very clear, that is, to find the Scyther tribe. However, if you want to take a shortcut, you must pass through the territory of Beedrill and the territory of other insect Pokémon. Ash is not afraid of other insect Pokémon, but only this Beedrill tribe is a headache. After thinking about it, Ash decided to take the small road. First, if he took a detour, it would take a lot of time. Second, he wanted to see if his luck could successfully avoid their pursuit. Later, it turned out that the goddess of luck was not always on his side. Look, Ash accidentally kicked a stone while running, and unfortunately, the stone hit a Weedle. Then a group of Beedrill came towards them. Ash saw this and had to run away with Pikachu. You ask Ash why he didn't use Psychic. Please, his current skills are not strong enough to control a large group of Beedrills. Later, he was really tired of being chased, so he asked Pikachu to use the powerful discharge to attack the map, which shocked the Beedrill group and scared them to retreat. Sure enough, if you don't teach me a lesson once, you won't know that I'm not easy to mess with, Ash said. But the yellow stripes of Beedrill should arouse Casey's interest. After all, she has a special liking for Pokémon with yellow stripes. After getting rid of the annoying Beedrill group, Ash continued to go to Scyther's territory. This time, they encountered a group of Pinico, which is the kind that will self-destruct if you provoke him, and nothing will happen if you don't provoke him. Obviously, Ash belongs to the latter. After walking for a while, Ash finally saw Scyther. Just as Ash was about to walk over, a voice suddenly came from the other side of the forest. It appears it's Scyther, the strongest hitter of the fourth bat, is coming. Ash knew it was Casey by the sound of her voice. She was the only one who used baseball terminology before giving orders. Use the fastest and strongest fastball for the first pitch to give the enemy a head start. Go ahead. Use Razor Leaf. Ash saw that Scyther was probably one of the weaker ones in the group, but with Casey and Chikorita at the moment, they couldn't deal with it. Razor Leaf hit Scyther, but the Grass-type skills didn't cause any damage to Scyther at all. In addition, Chikorita's contest condition was already very bad. The reason was simple. Casey had Chikorita following her since she entered here. She had experienced many battles along the way, and even had Chikorita tackle a tree trunk to attract insect Pokémon. After being attacked, Scyther was very rage and attacked with his two swords crossed. Casey was still immersed in the excitement of the first attack and said to Chikorita, "Chikorita, don't be afraid. If you are afraid, you will lose." However, Chikorita was still knocked out by Scyther. The fourfold restraint damage is not a joke. Come on, Chikorita. You are just out, show your fighting spirit. Casey's encouragement made Chikorita insist on standing up. Second ball, throw a good ball in the middle of the ball path. Razor Leaf. However, this time Razor Leaf did not have the power and accuracy of the first time and was smacked down by Scyther swinging his two swords, and the Razor Leaf was thrown back to Chikorita. It hit the pitcher's direction, quickly avoided. At this time, Chikorita had no extra energy to dodge and was hit directly from the front. Fortunately, Ash saw it, and after quickly hugging it, he said to Pikachu, "Pikachu, fight it back. Use Thunderbolt." Pikachu only used one move to electrocute Scyther, and then flew away quickly. "Ash, what are you doing?" Ignoring Casey's expression, Ash handed Chikorita to her. Take a good look at Chikorita's current contest condition. Casey looked again and exclaimed, "Chikorita, what's wrong with you? Why are you panting so hard? You let it go through a lot of battles along the way, and you only knew to let it fight nonstop, but ignored Chikorita's own physical strength. Moreover, bug type is very harmful to grass type, and you still let it fight? Don't you care about its feelings?" After that, Ash didn't care what she thought and ran directly into the depths of the jungle, leaving her alone to think. Just now, Ash used the wave guide to detect that a Scyther was coming, and it was very powerful. Sure enough, 3 Scythers came in front of Ash. The one in the middle had sharp eyes, and his 2 swords flashed coldly. He was stronger than the other 2 in both size and height. Scyther, Mantis Pokemon ability. Technical Master, Unyielding Heart, Hidden Attribute. Bug, Flying Learn Moves. Quick Attack, Leer, Fury Cutter, Double Hit, Slash, Agility, Air Slash, Focus Energy, Sword Dance. Learn Moves. Wing Attack, Double Team, Laser Focus, X-Scissor, False Swipe, Protect, Feint, Night Slash. Evaluation. It is the most powerful one in the Scyther group, with a strong combat awareness and rich combat experience. After evolution, it is very likely to stimulate other abilities. Very good. This is the Scyther that Ash wants. Scyther, the battle to conquer. Ash said to it while holding the park ball. The Pikachu on his shoulder was also full of fighting spirit, with spark flashing on his cheeks. Scyther accepted the challenge. He asked the 2 Scythers to retreat and walked over alone. Pikachu, use Quick Attack. Seeing Pikachu rushing over, Scyther instinctively raised his double swords to block the attack, and then waved his double swords to attack Pikachu frantically while it was not paying attention. Pikachu also dodged left and right, looking for an opportunity. The combat awareness is very good, I like it. Pikachu, use Iron Tail. The tail flashing with white metallic light came with a bang, collided with Scyther's blade, and Pikachu was sent to the sky. Seeing Scyther was going to chase, Ash ordered, Pikachu, use Double Kick. When training Pokemon, Ash also gave Pikachu some special training so that it could learn some fighting skills and improve its close combat ability. Double Kick was already mastered. Pikachu's legs flashed with silver light. He first interrupted Scyther's attack with one kick, then kicked the blade of its left-hand knife, and fell to the ground with the reaction force. Very good. I want to conquer you more and more. Ash showed a satisfied smile. From its performance, it can be seen that this must be the future Red Flash, a general of his Steel team. As soon as the voice fell, Scyther disappeared on the spot. It was agility. Pikachu, we are also agility. Pikachu also ran quickly, and the 2 Pokemon started a round of speed chase and collided from time to time. Ash carefully observed their figures, and suddenly, Ash noticed Scyther's sneak attack and said, Pikachu, use Iron Tail on the right. Pikachu subconsciously used its tail to hit the right, and it collided with Scyther's long knife, making a ding sound. Now, Thunderbolt. The surging current hit Scyther directly, and Scyther cried out in pain. Ash also took the opportunity to throw Park Ball and successfully captured him. Very good. I captured Scyther. Pikachu. On the way back, Casey regrouped and defeated a Beedrill with Chikorita. It seems that he is exactly the same as Ash thought, and has a special liking for the yellow-striped Pokemon. And the winner this time is naturally Ash. After all, he captured the leader of a tribe and successfully obtained the Sunstone. To be continued. The first general of the Steel type, here I come. Everyone, come and support us. Read books every day during the National Day. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP points. Recharge now. Event time, October 1st to October 7th. Chapter 51. Unexpected gains. Next branch, seeking support. Ash, I admire your luck more and more now. You can catch such rare Pokemon. Misty said with a bit of jealousy. Ash looked at the Pokemon ball in his hand and was a bit speechless. He just tried his luck, but he really got something? What happened to make them like this? It turned out that after the insect catching conference ended, according to the plan, they should set off to the next gym location, Yuanju City. As a result, Ash accidentally saw a place and couldn't walk for a moment. Then he said something to Misty Xiaojiang and took Pikachu into the place. Seeing this, Misty Xiaojiang had to follow him. After discovering this place, she was also speechless. She didn't expect Ash to have such a side. And this place is Goldenrod Game Center. Speaking of Game Center, it's not that they haven't experienced it before. Ash, the previous incarnation, also met Dr. Akihabara in Kanto's Matcha City. After a series of events, he finally saved the Pokemon storage system and successfully escaped from the computer world with his group and the Rocket Trio. At that time, He had already seen Porygon. But this time, Ash still wanted to try his luck. Although the game didn't say that there was Porygon in Goldenrod Game Center, he still wanted to see if he could meet it. Well, in fact, Ash's game addiction came up. After all, he also played slot machines in his previous life, and he was one of the best in the circle. Basically, few people could beat him. This time, he finally had this opportunity, so of course he had to play it well. So, after he came to the game hall, he ran directly to the slot machine. Ash, why are you here? Oh, just relax. Don't worry. I will stop when I see the good. Ash said, Boss, help me change tokens. After changing some tokens, Ash sat in front of a slot machine. After putting in 3 tokens, Ash pressed the button, and the pattern on the screen began to flash. In the end, the picture that appeared was the pattern of the largest amount, and bingo kept flashing. Wow, young man, congratulations. You are the first person here to win the grand prize. Do you want to continue the challenge or stop here? Said the owner of the store. Let's stop here. I'm here to try my luck today. Ash replied, Well, I will exchange the tokens you won for the same value of Alliance coins, and you will also have a mysterious gift package. In this way, in the confusion of Ash and his group, the boss gave them Alliance coins and a gift box, saying, I got this gift box by chance. The things inside are extremely rare. Please be sure to keep it well. Seeing that the boss's expression was not fake, Ash had to take it, and then took Misty Xiaojing away from the game center. Ash, what's in it? Misty asked curiously, and Xiaojing, who was traveling with him, also looked curious. Since the boss said to wait until no one is around before opening it, let's listen to him this time. So, they came to a park where few people passed by. After opening the gift box, they found a Pokémon ball inside. Misty said rather disappointedly, What? It's just a Pokémon ball. Ash smiled slightly. Maybe things are not that simple. After saying that, Ash picked up the Pokémon ball and pressed the switch on it. A white light flashed, and a Pokémon that they all didn't expect appeared. Porygon. Porygon, virtual Pokémon attribute. Normal ability. Copy, analyze, hide. Learn moves. Tackle, Thundershock, Electromagnetic Levitation, Fantasy Beam, Agility, Recover, Discharge, Try Attack. Learnable moves. Zap Cannon, Lock On, Destruction Beam, Protect, Swift, Trick Room, Thunderbolt, Thunder, Blizzard, Psyshock, Shadow Ball. Evaluation. Porygon is born with good qualifications. Extremely rare. As the first artificial Pokémon created by humans, it has independent combat consciousness and can learn more attribute moves according to the situation. It is worth cultivating. Isn't this a big profit? It's so cool, isn't it? Being created by people, but having independent consciousness. It can be said to be rare among the rare, but he encountered it. He silently wished the boss a prosperous business and good luck. Off topic. Wow, it's Porygon. Misty exclaimed. Porygon, please give me more advice in the future. Ash stretched out his hand and said, Pikachu. Pikachu said on the side. Porygon looked at Ash and touched his forelimbs to Ash's hand, which was a kind of recognition. After taking back Porygon, Ash still teleported it back because his current quota was limited, and once this kind of Pokemon was known, he would easily become the focus, so it was better to keep a low profile. He could already imagine Professor Oak's surprised expression. In this way, Ash and his friends left Goldenrod City and headed towards their next destination, Yuanju City. And what will be waiting for them? To be continued. Computer Warrior Porygon, come and report. To be honest, this part of the plot is completely original, and it is the maximum limit I can think of. If there are some bad ones, please forgive me. After all, this is considered excessive. Starting from the next chapter, the first theater version is coming. Everyone can look forward to it. Reading books every day on the 11th. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP points. Recharge now activity time. October 1st to October 7th. Chapter 52. The Emperor of the Crystal Tower, sure, seeking support. After a series of events such as Cyndaquil's early evolution, the change of the original plot, and the capture of Scyther, Ash's mission points have exploded. After the system was settled, there were 5,600 mission points. This is not a small amount. Ash also sent Scyther, Heracross, and Porygon to Professor Oak's laboratory. Scyther and Heracross were used for mutual learning and mutual improvement, and Porygon was used as more research materials for Professor Oak. Of course, all of the above happened before leaving Goldenrod City. Now, they're on the way to Yuanzhou City. When passing through a grassland, they met a Pokémon trainer named Xiaoling. At her invitation, Ash and her had a 6v6 battle. Needless to say, the result of the game was that Ash won. Excluding the still young Ralts, Pikachu, Bayleaf, Kalava, Alakazam, and Slowpoke were enough to deal with Xiaoling's Pokémon. Xiaoling also had a pleasant lunch at the invitation of Ash and the others, and the atmosphere seemed very good. "You are really strong. I was crushed by you the whole time. I can only lose." Xiaoling couldn't help saying when she remembered that she had no power to fight back during the battle just now. "No, Miss Xiaoling's Pokémon is also very good," Ash said very modestly. "It's because your training method is amazing. Although it looks tiring, it is very effective." Misty couldn't help but say. After leaving Goldenrod City, Ash gave his Pokémon some special training whenever he had time, and let them learn some new skills to enhance their strength. And his Pokémon are very motivated. Basically, they complete the tasks set by Ash very well. For example, the youngest Ralts here has learned skills such as Shadow Ball, Double Team, Reflect, Magical Leaf, etc. Kalava has mastered Rollout, Lava Plume, and accidentally learned the move Inferno, but he is not proficient yet. Bayleaf strengthened the Magical Leaf skill and learned the Petal Dance skill. In addition, he also learned the self-healing skill Synthesis. As for Slowpoke, because it was lazy in behavior, Ash let it learn the Calm Mind skill and let it learn special attack skills such as Blizzard and Hydro Pump. Pikachu and Alakazam have made progress in mutual competition, and the effect is obvious. At least Pikachu is not easily controlled by psychic special moves. However, after these few days, the Pokémons are very tired and urgently need to rest in the Pokémon Center. If you want to go to the Pokémon Center, go to Green Meadow Town. There is a Pokémon Center there. Xiaoling said, "Just go through this forest." Green Meadow Town? Is it the place that all Johto region Stephanie children yearn for and want to go to the most? I heard it's very beautiful. Misty became interested all of a sudden. "I'm going there too. Do you want to go with me?" Xiaoling invited. Okay. In that case, we have no problem. Green Grassland, as the name suggests, is a grassland with a lot of green land. It is said that being there will make people calm down, because the beautiful scenery will make people and Pokémon happy. Misty was naturally attracted by the scenery, and Xiao Gang said, "Stephanie wants to go there the most. That is to say, there will be a lot of beautiful Stephanie girls there, beautiful ladies. I'm here." Well, you shouldn't have too much hope for him. Uncle Gang only has girls in his mind. Ash, on the other hand, his previous memory told him that something big would happen here, and that feeling would be stronger the closer he got to the green grassland. The group was walking, and suddenly, Xiaoling pointed to a mountainous area and said, "After passing this hill, you will reach the green grassland." As soon as Xiaoling finished speaking, Ash and the others couldn't wait to climb the hill. However, the current scene made it difficult for them to accept. Originally a peaceful place, it has been covered by purple crystals. The beautiful flowers on the green grassland are being swallowed by the purple crystals. Looking from the hill, it is found that there is a crystal tower in the center of this purple crystal. If Ash had not had good eyesight, he would have been deceived. The crystal tower was originally a villa, but it has become like this. Seeing this scene, Ash probably remembered what the plot was. Unknown, Crystal Tower, Green Grassland, Professor Shioli, isn't this the special episode of the Emperor of the Crystal Tower? At this time, the system in my mind also sounded a long-lost voice. Now release the task content. The Emperor of the Crystal Tower is also a crisis. Please solve this incident perfectly. Task rewards. Ho-Oh is Feather, the secret of GS Ball, a random Mega Evolution Stone, and Evolution Keystone, primary Lucas power. To be continued. The Emperor of the Crystal Tower has kicked off. Don't forget to support it. By the way, guess who this Mega Evolution Stone belongs to? If you guess it right, I can add more. Enjoy reading every day during the National Day holiday. Top up 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Top up now. Activity time. October 1st to October 7th. Chapter 53. The Emperor of the Crystal Tower. Development. Seeking support. A piece of hopeless crystallized grassland just covered the green grassland that was originally full of vitality, which was really hopeless. At this time, in Ash's home in Pallet Town, Ash's mother, Delia, happened to see the news about this. She looked through the cabinets at home and found a photo. In addition to Ash and his mother, Professor Oak, there was also a father and daughter in the photo. The place where they took the photo was a villa, which was the residence of the father and daughter, and it was also the central area of the crystallized grassland now. That person, Stephanie's father, was Professor Oak's student, a famous Pokémon researcher, Professor Xiao Li Snowdon. Professor Xiao Li has always had a deep study of Pokémon. According to Professor Oak, he recently found the remains of Unknown and sent Professor Oak a paper on Unknown. Professor Oak also attached great importance to it. However, since that time, no news about Professor Xiao Li has been received. At first, Professor Oak thought he was obsessed with a certain Pokémon research. Until the news came out, he knew that Professor Xiao Li was in trouble. Professor Oak, you saw the news too? Delia came to him. Professor Oak nodded. I saw it. I was also about to rush over to see it. By the way, you seem to be very familiar with Professor Xiao Li. I must go with you, Delia said decisively. Professor Xiao Li's daughter is still very young. I am really worried. So, they drove to Green Grassland Town at the fastest speed. Coincidentally, Ash and his friends had just come out of the Pokémon Center, and now their Pokémon have all returned to their previous contest condition. When Ash saw his mother, he was also very surprised and said, Mom, why are you here? To be honest, this was the first time he saw Delia in person after traveling through time. Well, she did look much better than in the anime. I was a little confused, but it didn't mean Pikachu was confused. It jumped directly from Ash's shoulder and jumped directly into Delia's arms. Well, the name of Seikyu in the later generations was not for nothing. This was also a name given by netizens later. Think about the original book where Pikachu unknowingly took advantage of many female protagonists. Ahem, it's a bit of a bad taste. Delia came to Ash. Ash, you have changed. Taller, stronger, and more handsome. Little did they know that all this had been recorded by the reporters who came through the camera. In the central area of the crystallized building, which was Professor Xiao Li's home, a young Stephanie watched all this. Next to her, there was a fire-type beast sitting. The beast had the appearance of a lion normal, with strong limbs and iron rings. Behind it was a mane like white smoke. Under the mane like smoke, there was brown-red hair like a sharp blade. On the forehead was a saffron-colored clover-like hair crown, which looked very majestic. This is NTI, one of the 3 sacred beasts, summoned by Unknown through the dream of this little Stephanie, and called Dad by this little Stephanie. Little Stephanie watched the interaction between Ash and Delia and felt more and more lonely. Next to the computer, there were photos of Ash and his mother and their father and daughter. Dad, I want Mom too. Little Stephanie spoke. Hearing her request, NEI slowly stood up and spoke at the same time. Okay, as long as this is what you want, Mitsumi. At the same time, Delia was still telling everyone about her relationship with Professor Xiao Li. Ash also found some information about this from his previous memory. When he was a child, there was always a little tail named Mitsumi behind him, who often called him Ash brother. Mom, you came here this time for this matter. Yeah, I'm really worried about Mitsumi. Professor Oak, did Professor Xiao Li send you anything before he disappeared? The last time he contacted me was after he sent me a paper about Unknown, and then he disappeared. That's it. Professor Xiao Li's disappearance must be related to Unknown. Unknown has a mysterious power, and Professor Xiao Li must have discovered something to disappear. Suddenly, Ash sensed a powerful force coming here. He stood up solemnly and said, Misty Xiaojiang Xiaoling, protect my mother. Seeing Ash's expression, Delia said worriedly, Ash, what's wrong? Ash didn't say anything, but secretly connected to the mall system, preparing to buy an evolution keystone and the bracelet equipped. After all, in his team now, only Mega Alakazam can compete with the Phantom NTI, and the second is the Old Spray in Charizard Valley. NTI is coming soon, and the places it steps on have turned into purple crystals. After coming in front of everyone, NTI ignored everyone, looked at Delia with his animal eyes, and said, Mom! Ash raised his right hand, trying to use his own wave power to repel NDI, but then he took a few steps back, and his chest felt like it was hit by a heavy hammer. NTI, before I get angry, you should leave as soon as possible. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude to you. Pikachu. Pikachu also flashed spark on his cheeks, warning it. You are the mother, NEI said, and was about to take Delia away. It's decided to be you. Alakazam. Use confusion. Ash decisively threw Alakazam's Pokemon ball. Alakazam blocked in front of Delia. His eyes suddenly glowed blue and barely repelled NTI, but he also suffered a lot of damage. At this time, NEI looked at Ash and said, You'd better not interfere. It's not up to you whether I interfere or not. Ash showed his evolution keystone, and Alakazam also felt something and looked at Ash. That is, Professor Oak naturally noticed it. He felt that this thing was familiar, but he couldn't tell what it was. Alakazam, although I don't know if it will succeed, but now, this is all we can do. Ash communicated with Alakazam telepathically, and Alakazam nodded. I'll say it again, you get out of my way. Pikachu, protect my mother first. Ash didn't answer him. Respond to my heart, Alakazam, Mega Evolution. Then he put his right hand on the bracelet. In an instant, Alakazam was covered with white light, which was the light of evolution. It can't be wrong, it can't be wrong. That is the legendary Mega Evolution from the distant Kalos region. I didn't expect that I could see it. Professor Oak already knew it, but he still suppressed the excitement in his heart. After Mega Evolution, Alakazam changed from standing to floating in the air with legs crossed. The 2 spoons in his hands became 5 spoons floating around. A big white beard grew under his chin, and the small mustache became a big beard. At this time, Alakazam was like a great wizard. Since you don't know how to appreciate it, don't blame me for being cruel. To be continued. The plot is still going smoothly. Mega Alakazam is afraid that everyone will forget that Alakazam carries the evolution stone with him. The following plot will be more exciting, so please look forward to it. Reading is fun every day during the 11th. Recharge 100 to get 500 VIP points. Recharge now. Activity time. October 1st to October 7th. Chapter 54. The Emperor of the Crystal Tower. A closer look, seeking support. NTI roared, and the majesty from the beast told it that it could never be stopped by a human trainer. Mega Alakazam. Illusion Ray. Ash issued an order. Mega Alakazam put his hands together, and a colorful illusion ray shot out. NTI naturally opened his mouth and spit out a flamethrower, which collided with the illusion ray and caused an explosion. Mega Alakazam, Psycho Cut. Before NEI could react, the next attack of Mega Alakazam followed. NTI reacted very quickly and dodged by jumping to the side, leaving a knife mark where it was standing. NTI was angered by the continuous attacks, and it opened its mouth again. This time the flame was bigger than before, and it was swirling. This was NEI's Flame Vortex, which was more powerful than any fire Pokemon. Mega Alakazam, Reflect. Mega Alakazam moved his mind, and a white transparent barrier opened. Although it blocked the attack, Ash felt that his contest condition was bad again, and his whole body was sore, as if burned by fire. While Mega Alakazam didn't react, NEI kicked with all 4 legs and knocked Mega Alakazam down directly. Ash also flew backwards as if he was hit. Alakazam also recovered from its original state just now. It fell to the ground with injuries all over its body, obviously seriously injured. After seeing Alakazam fall, NTI continued to walk forward. Ash supported himself to prevent him from coming over. At this time, Delia patted his shoulder from behind. Mom! Ash turned his head, and everyone found that Ash's forehead and body were sweaty, and his right hand was still covering his chest, and he looked very painful. Ash, I'm going to take care of Sister Mitsumi. You will definitely come back, right? Delia's words gradually calmed him down. He knew that even if he stopped NEI for a while, he couldn't fundamentally solve this incident. Moreover, according to the original book, he was going to call Mitsumi back. If he beat NEI at this time, Mitsumi would definitely lose points in his impression. Delia slowly walked to NTI and said, Did Mitsumi ask you to come? No need to hypnotize me. I'll go with you. NTI nodded, let Delia ride on his back, and then ran away. After Ash saw it leave, he took back Alakazam and sat on the ground. Xiaojing and Professor Oak quickly helped him up. Professor Oak, Xiaojing, I need your help with a few things. Ash said slowly. First, Xiaojing, please contact Miss Jiku and teleport Charizard back. I need its power. Second, Professor Oak, please help me collect some empty Pokémon balls. We may have to go deep into the Crystal Tower this time. There may be a lot of unknown. If we don't capture them, it will be bad if they gather together, so it's best to capture them separately. Third, Professor Oak, please keep the Mega Evolution a secret for me. As for Alakazam, I'll leave it to you to take care of it. Ash handed Alakazam's Pokémon ball to Professor Oak. Ash, don't worry. I will keep the secret for you this time. Professor Oak nodded. Then Ash closed his eyes and just took a rest. The battle just now consumed too much of his energy. He had to get his spirits up and prepare to go deep into the Crystal Tower to rescue Mitsumi and his mother. On the other side, NEI successfully brought Delia back. Mitsumi was naturally very happy, so she fell asleep in Delia's arms, and NEI fell asleep beside her. How is it? How is Ash's rest? Xiaojing asked Misty. He looks much better than before. He will probably wake up soon, Misty said while looking at Ash, who was still sleeping soundly. Pikachu had been guarding him all the time. Suddenly, Ash opened his eyes and said, Xiaojing, how is it? Here, this is Charizard's Pokémon ball. Xiaojing handed the ball to him. After Ash took it, he straightened his hat and said, Okay, it's time to get down to business. Pikachu also jumped onto Ash's shoulder in sync. Ash, let's go with you. This operation may be very dangerous. You must be prepared. Anyway, we don't want to see you bear it alone. Don't forget us. Yes, we are your companions too. Seeing Misty and Xiaojing's firm attitude, Ash also agreed to go with them. After getting the empty Pokémon ball from Professor Oak, he said, Okay, let's go. Target Crystal Tower. To be continued. In the next chapter, Super Spray XY returns. Let's see how it will show its power. Have fun reading every day on the 11th. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP points. Recharge now, event time. October 1st to October 7th. Chapter 55. The Emperor of the Crystal Tower. Finally meeting Mitsumi. Seeking support, Ash and his friends set out on the journey to the Crystal Tower. Along the way, looking at the crystallized crystals everywhere, Ash thought for a moment and said, Misty, we may have to take the small road this time. Why? They asked in confusion. Look, Ash pointed to the crystallized grasslands. The crystals here are produced by Mitsumi's negative emotions. Anything that can be touched will become crystals, so we definitely can't go in through the main entrance. Then how should we get in? Ash looked around and suddenly found a water source flowing to the Crystal Tower. A solution emerged in his mind, and he said to Misty, Misty, let's go from the direction of the river. When they arrived here, he released Charizard. Come out, Charizard! Now Charizard's strength is no longer what it used to be. Not only is his height much taller than before, but his momentum has also been upgraded to a higher level. His physique is much stronger than before, and his eyes have become sharper. But after seeing Ash, he also stood in front of him obediently. Charizard, I'm sorry to bother you this time. Please take us up there first, Ash said. Charizard nodded, and then let them sit on him. He flapped his wings and flew to the inside of the Crystal Tower at a very fast speed. I'd like to mention here that Charizard's carrying capacity has also been greatly improved. From only being able to carry Ash alone to now carrying 3 people, it may be a bit illogical, but for the development of the plot, it can only be done this way. Don't be too serious. After finally finding the main entrance to the Crystal Tower, another problem came up. That is, the main door here was also sealed by crystals. Moreover, Ash also knew that even if this piece of crystal was broken, a new piece of crystal would seal it again. At that time, it would be an endless situation. Ash had already made up his mind and said to them, Misty, hold me. Pikachu, Iron Tail, open this place. After Pikachu came down from Ash's shoulder, he waved his tail to break the crystal. Ash and Misty used teleport to enter the crystal at the moment when it was about to be formed. Pikachu had been waiting for them. After Ash climbed the stairs, he found that the stairs gradually became transparent, and there were strange objects floating around. He secretly marveled in his heart. The scenery here is really good. The ability of unknown is really mysterious. No wonder Professor Xiao Li wants to study them. After seeing the light on the top floor, Ash and his friends immediately ran in the direction of the light. What came into their eyes was a very beautiful scene. At the top was an open grassland. Soaring in the sky was light pink, dotted with white clouds. The ground was a vibrant grassland, and delicate flowers were blooming everywhere. It really looked like the scene in the girl's heart. "There is such a beautiful place here," Misty said. "It is probably constructed by unknown based on Mitsumi's inner world." Xiao Jiang speculated. Ash felt something and looked up to find a Stephanie standing in front of them. "You are the adult Mitsumi?" Ash said, and Misty and Xiao Jiang also saw the girl. "I want to have a Pokemon duel with you and defeat you all." The girl said, "Mitsumi, it's me, I'm Ash. You don't remember me?" Encountering such a thing, Ash decided to wake her up first and solve it as soon as possible. "You are not the brother Ash in my impression. Stop talking nonsense. Let's duel." "Well, it seems that this is in vain. Ash, I'll take care of her. You guys go first." "Xiao Gang, your rival this time is different from the past. This is a world constructed by Mitsumi, so the status condition that may appear during the battle will not exist in her world, and the power of the moves will be relatively improved, so you have to be more careful. And this is the metal film that Uncle Muramasa gave me last time, which can make your Onyx evolve. Take it. Maybe it will be useful." After saying that, Ash took out a metal film from his pocket and handed it to him. Xiao Gang took it solemnly and said, "Thank you, Ash, then you go." Then, Xiao Gang stayed here, and Ash and Misty continued to go to the highest point. As a result, when they came to another level, this place became a beach, and the original upward steps became suspended in the sea. Mitsumi appeared again with NEI. "Who is it this time?" "I'll do your rival this time. Ash, you go first." Misty stood up and said, "Okay, Misty, you have to be more careful." After saying that, Ash continued to go to the final destination. Ash naturally saw Mitsumi sleeping in Delia's arms, and the NEI next to him was staring at him, as if he would attack him as soon as he made a move. "Mitsumi, I'm here to see you. Sorry I'm late." Seeing Mitsumi still sleeping, Ash didn't know what to say, but he subconsciously said such a polite word. "Mom, Mitsumi, is she okay?" Ash asked Delia softly. Delia nodded, patted Mitsumi gently, and said, "Mitsumi, don't sleep. Brother Ash is here." To be continued. I didn't expect it. This chapter still needs a transition. The next chapter, the peak battle is about to start. See how the old spray will show his power, and the super spray XY will show the tip of the iceberg of super strength, which will definitely make everyone enjoy it. Please don't be stingy with your support. Give more support. That is a great help to me. Reading books every day on the 11th. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Recharge now. Activity time. October 1st to October 7th. Chapter 56. The Emperor of the Crystal Tower. Super Spray XYVS NTI. Seeking support. Mitsumi, wake up, Brother Ash is here. Delia patted Mitsumi's back gently and said softly. Mitsumi opened her eyes in a daze and saw Ash standing in front of her. She couldn't help wondering, "Mom, who is he?" "You forgot, Mitsumi. He is Brother Ash. You forgot that when you were a child, you often followed him and called him Brother Ash all the time." Ash knew that Mitsumi might not remember such a memory very clearly, but she was able to recall herself with her vague memory. "Ash, brother. Hey." Ash responded and took the initiative to step forward, touched her head, and said softly, "Mitsumi, brother is here to see you." "It's really Brother Ash. That's great. Not only are Dad and Mom here today, but Brother Ash is here too," Mitsumi said happily, and she immediately felt that she was the happiest person. After telling Mitsumi about some things during the trip, he was a little embarrassed because he really didn't know how to tell her. Once there were some language mistakes, Mitsumi's emotions would fluctuate. At that time, it would be too difficult to get out. Delia seemed to feel Ash's embarrassment and took the initiative to say, "Mitsumi, in fact, I am not your mother. I am Brother Ash's mother." "Mom!" Mitsumi was obviously shocked by this sentence, and then she jumped out of Delia's arms and looked at her with a little sadness. "Mitsumi, you can't stay here. Go with Aunt Delia and Brother Ash. You won't feel lonely. Delia's words were very direct, but her idea was simple. Let Mitsumi leave this place. Well, my mother said what I wanted to say for me, so I don't have to worry about it. In fact, things were exactly as Ash thought in his heart. Mitsumi's emotions fluctuated. No, no. As if responding to Mitsumi's inner thoughts, the entire crystal tower experienced strong fluctuations, and each crystal became sharp and came towards Ash. Ash had to protect his mother behind him and block them with a wave guide. On the other side, because Mitsumi woke up, Misty Xiaojing naturally didn't have to fight. Misty Xiaojing immediately came to the inside of the crystal tower, but found that the crystals had become sharp, so they had to hide. What's going on? Something must have happened to Ash. Let's go check it out. NEI sensed Mitsumi's emotional fluctuations. He came to Mitsumi and asked, Mitsumi, what's wrong? Brother Ash took my mother away. NEI came to Ash and said, leave her to me. Get out of here, you fake. It's not your turn to interrupt Mitsumi and I. Get out of here quickly, or I'll be rude to you. You're going too far. Do you really think I can't beat you? Ash said solemnly, holding Charizard's Pokémon ball. He knew that this battle was inevitable. Go away. I don't want to see you. I want my parents. Mitsumi's words completely sounded the battle horn. Charizard, it's you. Ash still released Charizard, and Charizard appeared in front of them in a tall and mighty manner. Charizard, show your true power. At this time, Ash and Charizard were in harmony. The fire on Charizard's tail instantly ignited, and the whole body emitted white light. When the light faded, Mega Charizard XY appeared again. This time, without waiting for Ash's order, Charizard spread his wings and came to NEI at an incredible speed, grabbed his face with a claw, and threw him out. After NEI stabilized his body, he opened his mouth and spit out a flamethrower. Naturally, Laopeng also used flamethrower to fight back. The two flames intertwined, causing waves of heat to roll up around. You are just an image. What right do you have to control Mitsumi? Ash said with his mind. As long as this is what Mitsumi wants. NEI said after he stood up again. You keep saying this is what Mitsumi wants, but do you really understand what Mitsumi wants? She is still a child, without good memories with other children of the same age. This kind of trauma can never be made up. And you are not Mitsumi's father at all, just a phantom that appeared in a dream. Although you said you are thinking about Mitsumi, in fact, you don't want to disappear and lose the meaning of existence, right? NEI's mind was already fluctuating when he heard this, and he was hit by Charizard's tail and flew out. When it stood up again, Charizard's dual wing beat swung out an air slash. NEI dodged left and right, but didn't expect that the old spray came out from the flank and hit NEI with a fire punch, and NEI flew out again. This is a dream after all. No matter how good a dream is, there should be a time to wake up. If you really care about Mitsumi, you should let her walk out of this false dream. Go see the world and see the charm of trainer and Pokémon. After Ash finished speaking, he no longer cared about NTI, but squatted down and looked at Mitsumi. Mitsumi, go home with Brother Ash, okay? I will definitely help you find your father. Maybe at this time, Mitsumi's father is in a corner, waiting for Mitsumi. After hearing Ash's words, Mitsumi looked at Ash in a daze. Are you serious? Brother Ash. Yes, brother promises you that I will definitely help you find your father. He is very familiar with the plot and knows that Mitsumi's father, Professor Xioli, may be trapped in another space by Unknown. So as long as he conquers Unknown, the possibility of rescuing Professor Xioli will be greater. Misty and Xiaojing, take good care of my mom and Mitsumi. I'll be back soon. Ash looked at Misty and Xiaojing, who had already rushed over, and told them. They both nodded. So, according to his previous memory, Ash climbed up to the top of the crystal tower step by step, which was where Unknown was staying. As for the old spray, even if he didn't command it, it could fight skillfully. Didn't you see that the old spray is chasing NEI now? To be continued. The performance of the old spray didn't disappoint everyone. It was able to beat NDI without any chance to fight back, and its strength was promoted to more than one level. Everyone is satisfied, right? Preview of the next chapter. Unknown went berserk. Ash got the mysterious power and completed this event in one fell swoop. Don't miss it. Have fun reading every day on the 11th. Recharge 100 to get 500 VIP points. Recharge now. Event time, October 1st to October 7th. Chapter 57. The Emperor of the Crystal Tower. The End. Seeking support. Ash slowly climbed to the top of the Crystal Tower and saw Unknown. Unknown, symbol of Pokémon attribute. Psychic ability. Float learned moves. Hidden power learnable moves. None evaluation. A Pokémon that exists in ancient ruins. A typical group fighting Pokémon. One Unknown may be useless, but when two or more Unknown gather together, mysterious power will be generated. According to what has been discovered so far, Unknown has 28 forms, corresponding to 26 English letters, question marks and exclamation marks, corresponding to different abilities. After reading the introduction of Unknown, Ash was ready, and these Unknown did not notice Ash's arrival, and were still spinning in the magic of love. Maybe Ash had appeased Mitsumi before he came, so the speed of crystallization has slowed down, and Ash's actions have also accelerated. It's decided to be you, Slowpoke. Ralt, you assist on the side. Ash sent Slowpoke and asked Ralt, who stayed on his head, to join in. To be honest, I have trained Ralt many times before, but if I want to become a true Super Queen, I still need the experience of fighting, otherwise I can't grow up. Slowpoke, Zen headbutt Ralt's Shadow Ball. Slowpoke gathered strength in his forehead, then kicked his forelegs and hit Unknown, while Ralts kept throwing Shadow Balls to attack Unknown. Ralts is gifted, and when Ash trained it, he focused on training her attack speed so that she can reach this level now. Under the double attack of Slowpoke and Ralts, Unknown kept falling down. In order to prevent them from going back, Ash threw the Pokemon balls he got from Professor Oak, and the falling Unknown were captured one by one without any struggle. In this way, the 30 Pokemon balls originally brought out were used up, and each Pokemon ball flashed red, indicating that the contest condition could not be opened. Okay, call it a day. Ash took back Slowpoke and Ralts and returned to where he was. Looking at NEI, who was still being chased and beaten by Charizard, Ash said, "NTI, if you really care about Mitsumi, you should let her leave this crystal tower. Otherwise, she will be more lonely." After that, Ash hugged Mitsumi and said softly, "Don't be afraid, Mitsumi. You are not alone. You have Brother Ash, Mother Delia, and many friends. We will be with you. Your father doesn't want to see Mitsumi stay here all the time." After hearing her father, Mitsumi calmed down. After she left Ash's arms, she shouted to NEI, "Don't fight anymore. I want to leave here, get along with everyone, and see a better world." "Brother Ash, okay." Mitsumi looked back at Ash and smiled. Ash touched her head. "Of course." NEI also felt Mitsumi's heart and came to Mitsumi's side. "Mitsumi, I came here to make you happy. If you can be happy if you leave here, then I." Before it finished speaking, Ash frowned and shouted to everyone, "Everyone, get out of the way." After that, he picked up Mitsumi and put her on NTI's back and left the place with Misty, Xiaojang, and Delia. And just where they just stood, more terrifying crystal spikes emerged from the ground, and the cold light seemed to penetrate everything. Not only that, everyone felt that the place they were standing was getting smaller and smaller. Ash said to NTI without hesitation, "NEI, take my mother and Mitsumi. Let's go to the top floor." After that, he took Misty, Xiaojang and sat on Charizard. Ash, what's going on? Mitsumi's mood has calmed down. It should be that the power of the Unknown itself has gone out of control, and all the crystals have begun to grow. If I'm not mistaken, the same situation is happening outside the Crystal Tower now. Sure enough, Ash received a call from the communication device that Xiao Ling gave him before. It was from Professor Oak. As Ash expected, the crystals have begun to spread more and more. Ash came to NEI again. "NEI, Misty and Xiaojang are also in your hands." After saying that, Ash flew to the top of the Crystal Tower alone, trying to stop the runaway Unknown. "Ash, this is too dangerous." Misty said, "Even if we go over, we can't help much, but we'll drag him down." Xiaojang said calmly. Mitsumi and Delia looked up worriedly and said, "NEI, take us up." "Yes, we want to help Brother Ash, if that's what you want." After that, NEI took Mitsumi and Delia to the top, leaving Misty and Xiaojang waiting there. On the other side, Ash was also in trouble because the Unknown that was easy to break before became solid, and the attacks of Charizard, Pikachu, and Slowpoke were ineffective. Instead, his Pokémon were blown away by the shockwave of unknown. He wanted to transform Charizard again, but with his current ability, even if he successfully transformed, he couldn't last long, so Ash had to give up. At this time, NEI came up. "Why are you here?" "Mitsumi and Mom asked me to help you." "Ash, release the unknown you captured before. Maybe it will help you." NEI said. Ash nodded. So he threw the 30 Pokemon balls, and the unknowns surrounded Ash, and they could feel Ash's mood. "Everyone, give me a hand." At Ash's call, the 30 unknown kept spinning above Ash's head, and then a white light appeared around Ash. After the light faded, Ash's right hand was wearing a silver sword, and his chest and shoulders were covered with silver white armor, with a red V on the armor, and dual wing bead appeared on his back, a bit like Noah's Noah wings. Ash looked at his new look and couldn't help but smile bitterly. Isn't this the combination of Ultimate Zero and Noah? "Ash, brother, you are so handsome," Mitsumi said admiringly. "Boy, I will lend you my power. I hope it will be useful to you." Then, NTI flashed all over, and a flame-red power appeared on the armor, which represented NTI's power. "Everyone, the last blow." After saying that, Ash moved his mind, and the armor on his body turned into a silver-red ultimate bow and arrow in Ash's hand. Ash put his left hand on the bowstring, and the ultimate bow and arrow began to stockpile. Charizard, Dragon Rage. Pikachu, Thunder. Slowpoke, Water Pulse at maximum. This time, under the traction of Ash's ultimate bow, the 3 attacks of fire, electricity, and water all hit the ultimate bow shot by Ash. Under the continuous rotation of the bow, the cracks in the Unknown's defense were finally shaken open. Pieces of Unknown fell down, and the spread of crystals also stopped, revealing the original vibrant scene of the green grassland. The Unknowns all regained consciousness, and a crack appeared in the sky at the top of the tower. All the Unknowns flew in, except for the 30 Unknowns that Ash had captured before, who were still with Ash. At this time, Ash returned to the silver-red ultimate flame armor form, shining in the sunlight. Misty and Xiaojing naturally saw all this and couldn't help but feel admiration. Ash, he really grew up? After completing the task, NEI naturally returned to Mitsumi's dream. The Crystal Tower also officially disappeared. The remaining Unknowns were all willing to follow Ash. The previous Pokemon balls were definitely useless, so they had to ask Professor Oak to bring another batch to recapture them. "Ash, you did a great job this time," Professor Oak praised. "Professor Oak, please send someone to the ruins where Professor Xioli is." Professor Xioli should be back by now. Later, Professor Xioli was found unconscious in the previous ruins. As for Mitsumi, she would naturally be taken care of by Delia first. "Brother Ash, I will go to cheer for you during the Silver Conference." "Okay, then Brother Ash will definitely win the championship." Ash smiled. "Mom, please take care of Mitsumi." Delia nodded. "Go, Ash. I'll leave Mitsumi to me." The Emperor event of the Crystal Tower ended perfectly. To be continued. I wonder if everyone is satisfied with this result? The journey has set sail again. Read books every day on the 11th. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP points. Recharge now. Activity time. October 1st to October 7th. Chapter 58 System Upgrade. Mysterious Relics. Seeking support. After the event of the Emperor of the Crystal Tower, Ash and his friends said goodbye to Professor Oak and his friends and continued to the next destination, Yuanju City. Along the way, Ash was very proud. This time, he not only completed the system task, but also conquered 30 Unknown, which was considered to be an overfulfillment of the task. As for rewards, of course, they were indispensable. In addition to the original rewards, there was another rare item. Tidal Bell. Comparison contest condition with this item. You can summon the legendary sea god Lugia, and you can establish intimacy after meeting. Note that the current Tidal Bell is in the unusable contest condition. Only in special events can the Tidal Bell be fully activated. For this, Ash did not complain. Since there is an activation opportunity, he will wait because he believes that this opportunity is not far away from him. In addition, the power of Lucas he obtained has also been integrated into his body, and he also gave himself a Z-Ring. At the same time, the system also prompted to update at this time, so he can only look forward to the future. Ash, I have to thank you very much this time. On the way, Xiaojing said to him, "Why, you evolved Onyx?" Ash heard it and thought it was probably related to his Onyx. Xiaojing nodded. At that time, when I fought against Mitsumi because her Pokémon could fight according to her ideas, I was at a disadvantage at the beginning. Fortunately, I used the metal film you gave me to evolve Onyx into Steelix, which saved the situation a little. That battle was really thrilling. Misty couldn't help but say when she recalled it. Forget it, don't think so much for now. Let's hurry up. Ash interrupted their thoughts with a word. It is worth mentioning that Ash exchanged Snorlax back before parting with Professor Oak. As for why, you can see the slightly turbulent water and the broken wooden bridge in front of you. And the workers here said that it would take another month to build a new bridge. There was no way. At Ash's suggestion, they decided to cross the river on Snorlax. Fortunately, this fat man woke up. Otherwise, it would be really troublesome. Snorlax, please take us across the river. Ash said to it, and Snorlax nodded honestly. Ash, is this okay? Misty said, Don't worry, I won't do anything I'm not sure of. Ash said confidently. Snorlax lay directly on the water, with its round belly facing outwards. Ash and his friends jumped on its big belly, and then Snorlax slowly paddled its two arms and crossed the river in a backstroke posture. Wow, I didn't expect Snorlax to be able to backstroke. My Snorlax is not normal. Ash laughed, and when he reached the other side of the river, Ash took Snorlax back. Thank you for your hard work, Snorlax. Come back. Then, they came to the ruins of Alf. This is where Pokémon fossils were once discovered. Many people are mining here, and the appearance of fossil Pokémon still appears on the rock wall. However, when it comes to fossil remains, the earliest one was when they traveled in the predecessor Kanto, where they found fossil Pokémon remains. That place was the Great Sha Valley. I remember that an Aerodactyl appeared at that time and captured Ash as soon as it appeared. If Charmeleon had not evolved into Charizard, I am afraid Ash would have been in danger. Thinking of this, Ash decided that when he returned to Kanto, he must return to the Great Sha Valley and see Aerodactyl again. At that time, it would be time to subdue it. Not to mention the rarity of Aerodactyl, the fact that it can also undergo Mega Evolution is enough to make Ash excited. Maybe it will become another trump card for him. The rocks on these ruins are so realistic. Misty said, after all, this is also the place where fossil Pokémon live, so the rocks are of course very old. Ash said, unexpectedly, they met Professor Oak again here. Professor Oak? Why are you here? Ash said in surprise after seeing Professor Oak. Similarly, Professor Oak was also surprised when he saw Ash. Oh, Ash. Professor, you came here. Did you hear something? Professor Oak never came to a place easily unless there was something interesting here. Since you are here, I will take you to see it by the way. Along the way, they learned that Professor Oak was invited by one of his students, Foster, who said that there was a major discovery and he had to take time to come and see it. So Professor Oak came. So, Professor Oak, you don't know what you found? Ash asked. Yes, but my student said it should be a great discovery. Ash thought about it and estimated that it must be related to ancient Pokémon, and it was a fossil Pokémon. But he didn't say it clearly because some things are better known in your heart. To be continued, this Mega Evolution Stone is a foreshadowing for the subsequent plot. So everyone guess what Pokémon it is? Anyway, it's not very ordinary. Oops, I accidentally let it slip. Sneaky smile. Reading books every day on the 11th day is fun. Top up 100 and get 500 VIP points. Top up now, event time. October 1st to October 7th. Chapter 59. 200 years of living fossils protected. Seeking support. Under the guidance of Professor Oak, Ash and his friends soon met the person who invited Professor Oak, who was called Foster. Foster had taken Professor Oak's course at Rainbow University. So in a way, he was also Professor Oak's student. It's been a long time since we last met Foster. Professor Oak greeted them first after they shook hands. Professor Oak, these kids are. You said there was an amazing discovery, and I happened to meet them, so I brought them here to see it. Professor Oak took good care of Ash and always treated him as his own son or nephew. However, Foster was a little bit crazy. He pulled Professor Oak aside and said mysteriously, Professor Oak, you know that if this discovery is released, it will cause an uproar in the academic world. That's why I came to you to discuss it secretly. Don't worry about this. I trust Ash very much. Letting them see more about Pokémon is also a must for becoming a Pokémon master. Obviously, after the last incident, Professor Oak's expectations for Ash have become higher, and Ash's personality itself makes him feel at ease. Since Professor Oak said so, Foster couldn't refuse and said, "Okay, let's make an exception this time." Along the way, Professor Oak also told Ash and others about Foster. It turned out that Foster was also a scholar, and the subject he studied was the ancient history of Pokémon. Not only that, he also proposed a theory. He believed that the origin of all life lies in the sea. After Ash heard this, he immediately felt that this was similar to the origin of life he had heard in his previous life. But from what he said, it should be the kind that is not yet perfect. After all, there is no convincing evidence to prove that his point of view is correct. As for Misty, she has been attracted by the so-called marine Pokémon. The girl's sixth sense tells her that this new discovery must be related to marine Pokémon. As the group chatted, they came to a door with a big red cross painted on it. "Well, now I will lead you to the world 2 million years ago." After Foster pressed the fingerprint recognition, the door opened, and everyone felt a cool breeze blowing from inside. Rare plants, plus a variety of ancient Pokémon, especially the sudden appearance of Aerodactyl, made Ash more determined to capture an Aerodactyl. This is Aerodactyl made according to the information of ancient Pokémon and the latest animation electronic technology. Foster introduced. Although it looks shocking, it is nothing for Ash, who has seen too much animation technology in his previous life. This is the Ancient Pokémon Park, an entertainment and academic space that recreates the living environment of ancient Pokémon. It has not been open to the public because it takes a long time to adjust the system. It's great that it can be done like this. Sooner or later, this place will become what Mr. Foster ideally wants it to be. Ash encouraged. As he was talking, the virtual volcano in front of everyone erupted. I said that we should pay attention to that environment. The ancient continent was affected by frequent volcano activities. Sometimes the earth would sink, and sometimes it would float up. Foster continued to introduce. So, due to such changes, it also brought some impact to the evolution of life. Ash continued, and Professor Oak nodded behind him. However, Mr. Foster, the major discovery you mentioned is also suitable for survival in such an environment. Yes, next I will take you to see the most important discovery here. Then they came to a small pond. The strange thing is that the stones here are all glowing. This is luminous moss. Professor Oak identified it at a glance. There were many such stones in the ancient times. We know this from fossil analysis. After a while, everyone felt something coming out of the water. Ash used a waveguide to explore it, and it was exactly as he imagined. Everyone, this is a place that completely imitates the coast 2 million years ago. So open your eyes and see clearly. As soon as the voice fell, the figure under the water suddenly appeared. It turned out to be Omanite and Omastar. "It's Omanite and Omastar," Professor Oak said. "It looks like the real thing." Misty thought it was made. "No, these Omanite and Omastar are real," Ash said after feeling it carefully. "Ah, really?" "Yes. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called a major discovery, right, Mr. Foster?" Ash said to Foster with a smile. Foster nodded. "Yes, that's right. But Mr. Foster, I still have something to say." "Yes? What?" "That is," Ash's face became solemn. "Immediately close the artificial pond here, and at the same time control the source of the water." "Ah, why?" This was the first time Misty saw Ash's attitude so serious. Ash pointed, and they found that there were many more Omanites heading towards them. Now, Foster also believed what Ash said. It turned out that just now, Ash opened the power of Waveguide to sweep around and found that there was an Omanite tribe that had survived for 2 million years deep in the artificial lake here. "Ash, you have really grown up." Professor Oak looked at Ash with relief. For these Omanites, it is still the best choice for them to let them continue to live here. Let all this become a secret. To be continued. I've been busy running long distances recently, so I quickly uploaded a chapter. Reading books every day on the 11th. Recharge 100 to get 500 VIP points. Recharge now. Activity time. October 1st to October 7th. Chapter 60 System Upgrade Completed, Adventure in the Rain. To be released soon. Please support. Pikachu Thunderbolt, send them away. A surging yellow electric current flashed, and the rocket trio was blasted into the sky again. It's so hard to get a shot. It turned out to be like this. What a disgusting feeling. The thing is, Ash and his friends rescued a Pidgey on their way to Yuzu City. This Pidgey was a Pidgey from the messenger house, and its owner was Chengdu. They also learned from it that the Pidgey here was responsible for communication. Not long ago, they received a message saying that a Pidgey was not delivered on time. So, Ash and his friends investigated with Chengdu, and under Ash's Ralt's induction, they found that it was the Rocket Trio who messed up. Then, it was the scene at the beginning of the article. After helping Chengdu solve this matter, Ash and his friends continued their journey to Yuzu City. Bayleaf, can you try again to gather the energy ball? On the way, Ash began to train Bayleaf, and this time he taught her the skill of energy ball, which is also very powerful when used. In fact, Bayleaf's progress is also obvious. During the training, she also learned Leaf Storm and Safeguard, two offensive and defensive skills. It will be good for her to evolve into Meganium in the future. The more tricks she learns, the more tactics she can use. Just when they were resting, suddenly, a voice appeared in Ash's mind. System upgrade completed. Please check it. The system upgrade is completed? Ash saw this message and checked the new function. To talk about the new function, there is an additional qualification information on the Pokémon panel. The qualification is divided into 5 levels from low to high: green, blue, purple, orange, and red. In this way, the probability of catching high-quality and potential Pokémon will be greatly increased. In addition, you can also check the opponent's panel, understand rival better, and formulate some targeted tactics in the battle. In short, it is more beneficial to me. Ash took a look at his panel and found that most of the Pokémon he carried with him had good qualifications, starting at the lowest blue, and the Pikachu next to him was a darker orange version. Deepening is similar to dark and light colors, divided into 5 stages: lighter, gradual, darker, darker, and qualitative change. Once a qualitative change occurs, it is a leap of a stage. Ralts is also a darker purple version. Just then, the originally clear sky soaring in the sky was overcast, and heavy rain poured down. What's going on? It was sunny just now. Misty complained. Looking at the increasingly heavy rain, Xiaojing said, "The situation is a bit bad. Let's find a place to take shelter from the rain." Ash used the wave guide to explore, pointed in a direction, and said, "There is a house there. Let's go there to hide." Following Ash's direction, they saw a very luxurious villa on a hillside, but it looked particularly terrifying in the environment of lightning and thunder. But even so, they could only hide there, which was better than being drenched outside. Ash and his group quickly climbed up the hillside and came to the villa. "Excuse me, can we take shelter here?" Strangely, after knocking on the door opened automatically, and a series of miserable growls came from inside. Could it be that it was really... After they went in, Ash thought, "I really thought too much." It turned out that this was not the kind of haunted house that I imagined, but rather a treatment house, because Machoke was massaging people's shoulders, Stringball was bandaging wounds with string shot, and Mareep was giving people electrotherapy. The most eye-catching thing here was the very beautiful doctor lady. At first glance, she was a doctor and a human doctor. After Ash and the others came in, the young lady turned around and said to them, "If you need treatment, please line up. Please wait before I call you. You misunderstood. We are actually... Nice to meet you, Mississippi. My name is Xiaojing. It is my honor to be called by such a beautiful lady like you. Whether it is 10 years, 100 years, or 1,000 years, I am willing to wait." Needless to say, it must be Xiaojing who teleported to the young lady. As for why he didn't finish his words, it must be Misty who dragged him away. "I was a little rude just now. May I ask your name?" "My name is Anna, and I am a doctor here." After learning that Anna not only agreed to let them stay here, but also explained to them the functions of the Pokémon here to assist in treatment and examination. It should be said that this is the special feature of Pokémon. Then, Xiaojing decided to stay here to help her first. Well, in fact, it was mostly just courtesy, but Ash, who knew the subsequent plot, knew that Xiaojing was more suitable to be a Pokémon doctor. After all, After the Sinnoh trip, his ideal changed like this. This is also the main reason why Gang didn't accompany Ash on the trip later. This time, Xiao Gang's idea might be shaken. However, Ash looked at the rain outside and decided to go out for a look because he sensed a voice calling him. After explaining the situation, Ash set off with Pikachu. To be continued, this book will be on the shelves soon, and I hope everyone will support it. Recently, I have to work and update other novels, so I am a little delayed. Please forgive me. After the release, at least 3 updates will start, and the update will be updated. Please look forward to it. Reading is fun every day on the 11th. Recharge 100 to get 500 VIP points. Recharge now. Activity time. October 1st to October 7th. Chapter 61. Suikun's Gift, Fighting Showdown? January 12th. Please subscribe. There was something wrong with the rain. So, Ash decided to go outside alone to find out what was going on. He only brought Pikachu with him, and at the same time, he turned on his wave guide to prevent himself from getting wet. When they reached the depths of the forest, Ash said to Pikachu, "Pikachu, do you feel anything?" Because he also had some perception, according to Pikachu's ability, he could also feel it directly. Pikachu nodded, but judging from Pikachu's expression, it shouldn't be a bad thing, because if it was a sense of danger, Pikachu's cheeks should be flashing with sparks, but this time he looked very relaxed. Boom! A thunderbolt fell from the sky, illuminating the dark scene on the other side, and another familiar figure appeared from the hand. Ash looked closely and immediately reacted. It turned out to be you, Sun. This rain must be caused by you? That's right. The figure in front of him was Suikun, the incarnation of the north wind among the 3 sacred beasts. The last time I saw it, it was just a blue figure, but this time, Suikun appeared in front of Ash and Pikachu in its true form. Its figure is very light, with blue hair on its head, a white ribbon on its neck, and a royal blue decorate on its forehead. The blue and white patterns on its body represent the image of water and wind. In the legend of the Johto Region Alliance, Suikun is like the north wind normal, running around everywhere, and his responsibility is to purify the polluted water quality. Ash couldn't help but stroke its hair with his hand and said, "Suikun, what's the matter?" Suikun looked at him and suddenly pointed at him with his eyes. Ash suddenly thought of something, took out the Ho-Oh feather that the system rewarded before, and said, "Are you here for it?" Suikun went up and smelled it carefully and looked at Ash again. The next moment, a water ball suddenly appeared in Ash's other hand. When he looked closer, he found that it was a bell. This bell is the size of a fist, translucent and blue, but it doesn't ring when you shake it. Isn't this the clear bell? Ash naturally knew what this thing was, but why did Suikun give him this thing that could summon the Phoenix Lord? Was it just for his own sake? This question can only be proven by time. Well, in fact, Suikun has disappeared. Congratulations to the host. You have received the Suikun's gift, the clear bell. The intimacy between the host and Suikun rose to green. Intimacy? Could it be that this is the relationship between me and Suikun? Ash couldn't help but think. It's just the intimacy with Suikun. The benefit of this intimacy is that if the host needs help, Suikun will come to you at the first time. To put it bluntly, it's just to add a helper for yourself. Ash said as he took back the clear bell and the feather of Ho-Oh, and then he and Pikachu returned to the house again. It is worth mentioning that although the plot deviated from the original trajectory, Xiaojang Zubat still evolved into Golbat, which did not change much. The next day, after the rain stopped, Ash and his friends said goodbye to Anna and continued their journey. Xiaojing, what do you think about yesterday? Feelings? Could it be that Miss Anna and I don't think too much? I just want to ask if you have any feelings about Miss Anna's career? Touched. Xiaojing seemed to like the feeling of helping Anna treat Pokémon last night. Just then, the ground began to tremble. Ash looked back and found that a Tauros suddenly rushed out of the woods. Ash and his friends quickly hid. Ash looked. Following the direction pointed by Misty, they saw an old man walking leisurely on the road where Tauros was moving. If they didn't stop Tauros, the old man would definitely be knocked away. Ash didn't have time to think about it, and threw Heracross's Pokemon ball directly. It's you, Heracross. Heracross, fly to the old man as fast as you can. After Ash gave the order, he said to Xiaojing and Misty, "Let's hurry up and follow him." So they took a shortcut and rushed over. Ash ran the fastest, and after seeing the old man also took out his Pokemon ball, Ash took a step forward, gave the old man a handsome back, and smiled slightly. "Grandpa, give us young people some opportunities." Heracross, block it for me. Heracross stood still with his hands open. When Tauros rushed over, Heracross caught Tauros's horns with both hands. Although his body was constantly retreating, Tauros's speed slowly slowed down. Use Focus Blast to calm him down. Heracross's right hand condensed a white light 710 bullet and hit Tauros' forehead directly. Tauros screamed in pain and then fell down. Later, the trainer of this Tauros also rushed over, thanked him repeatedly, and took Tauros back. After asking, it was found that this Tauros was frightened by Beedrill's needles and then went berserk. The old man standing behind Ash saw the performance of Ash and his Pokemon, and a gleam flashed in his eyes and said, "Little brother, your Heracross is very well trained. Please be sure to come to my house." Oh, looking at the old man like this, I guess he must have encountered something. Ash seemed to think of something and said, Soon, they followed the old man to a private dojo. What will happen next? Please look forward to it. To be continued, by the way. I've been working on projects recently, and I have to work very late and feel very tired every time, so I didn't have time to update yesterday. Sorry, I will try my best to write after the release, because I only have time at night. Although I can't burst out all at once like other authors, I won't delay. Please support me. Chapter 62. Fighting in Contest? The disagreement between Chigusa and Grandpa, February 12th. Please subscribe. The dojo of this old man is a bit similar to the private dojo of Uncle Muramasa that Ash and his friends met before, and it is even larger than the dojo of Muramasa. This is my home. The old man brought Ash and his friends to a large courtyard. It looks so grand here. Xiaojiang couldn't help but admire. 212. At this time, a sound came from the yard. What's that sound? Misty asked in confusion. Hearing this question, the old man said with regret, It's my granddaughter Wang Chao, who is doing some useless training. In fact, my home is a dojo specializing in fighting-type Pokemon, with a long tradition of the sect Jinzo Ryu. The old man seems to be very proud of his family. Although his granddaughter Chigusa's performance really disappointed him, he is still very proud of his sect. In this world, Jinzo Ryu is a sect. As soon as you enter the door, you can see many fighting-type Pokemon. The one who led them in training was a girl who looked about the same age as Ash. There was also a Pokemon standing next to her who looked like he was wearing a bamboo hat. Is that Kaboro your granddaughter's Pokemon? Ash asked, and the old man nodded. Kaboro, the inverted Pokemon qualification, deepening blue ability, intimidation, unyielding heart, hidden, moves learned, double kick, triple kick, rapid spin, tackle, focus energy, close combat moves that can be learned, detect, fake out, low sweep, brick break, mind reader, counter, feint evaluation. The third evolution of Belong, which belongs to the balanced attack and defense Pokemon, who can use both fists and kicks, has a dance and a smooth kicking technique. Song's current strength has not been fully developed. Indeed, looking at this girl's training method, it is very similar to doing radio gymnastics. Everyone pay attention. You must maintain the posture of the special moves and kicking skills, and follow the rhythm. Chigusa said, Kobalang, you come and show everyone. After seeing Kobalang's demonstration, Misty praised, So amazing. Ash shook his head. If you don't pay attention to your own strength and only pursue the moves, once you meet someone with similar strength, you will be beaten back to your original form. Fighting is not a performance for others. The old man was obviously very dissatisfied with Kobalang's performance just now. After those people left, Chigusa said, Grandpa, who are they? I finally found my successor. Ash patted Ash on the shoulder while saying this. Ash himself was a little surprised. Is it really okay to say this? Grandpa, are you so opposed to my inheriting your gym? Although Chigusa was surprised, he quickly reacted. You can't inherit my gym with your current material. Why? Yours is just an ordinary fighting dance, which is completely useless in actual combat. Nonsense, my fighting skills are also very useful in actual combat. Impossible. Why is it impossible? Since it is useless, it is still necessary to verify that you are right through fighting. So Tian Chao pointed his head at the air. Ash, since you want to be the successor of our gym, beat me first, and then take out your own fighting Pokemon to judge. I accept the challenge, but I have to make it clear in advance that inheriting the gym has nothing to do with me. Ash replied, it's decided to be you, Heracross. Speaking of fighting Pokemon, Ash remembered an Infernape that his predecessor had captured by Zhao Le. This guy liked to steal his hat when he was Mankey. Later, in order to get good results in the P1 fighting conference, he left it with a trainer uncle named Anthony. However, since Ash is no longer the original Ash, it is necessary to take his Pokemon back. After all, he is its trainer. It feels irresponsible to leave Solation there. Anyway, I told Professor Oak that Infernape will be taken back sooner or later. To be continued. Try to update every day and never default. I hope everyone will support me. Chapter 63, Learning Tricks? Strengthen Yourself First. March 12th, please subscribe. Ash was used as a shield. The thing is, this grandfather has a school called Jinzo Ryu, which specializes in fighting-type Pokemon, but his granddaughter Chigusa only focuses on the contestability of moves and does not focus on actual combat, which makes this grandfather very dissatisfied. As a result, our protagonist, Ash, was pushed out. Then things happened as everyone expected. Chigusa was very dissatisfied with Ash as the heir, so she proposed a battle. Ash naturally accepted, and he sent out the only fighting-type Heracross at present. When Ash's Heracross appeared again, the grandfather's eyes lit up again. Although he had seen this Heracross once, when he saw it this time, he found that Heracross's momentum was very strong, and it can be seen that its fighting consciousness is not weak at all. The battle was about to break out, and at this moment a person suddenly came from outside. Is anyone there? Everyone looked together and found that a tall and strong man walked in. 810. I am Shiro, who is currently training as a samurai. I would like to invite a master from the famous martial arts school Jinzo Ryu, which has a long history, to fight with me 10 times. After hearing Shiro's self-introduction, the old man began to be a little surprised. Chigusa seemed to have thought of something and asked, I want to ask you, are you the one who has been looking for a fighting-type Pokemon gym to challenge recently? I defeated the master of the gym and replaced the badge with a sign. So far, I have obtained 9 signs. This will be the 10th sign I have obtained. Shiro is very confident in his achievements, and his words reveal a kind of pride. Why do you want to do this? I want to open a fighting-type gym. Doing so will reflect the value of publicity. Although this method is a bit difficult to accept, it is also the most efficient method. So, the old man gladly accepted his challenge. Shiro sent out Shawarang, and the old man's Pokemon was Machoke. Just when they were about to fight, the old man and Machoke both sprained their waists, which was embarrassing. At this time, Chigusa wanted to take the initiative to fight, but the old man didn't want her to fight, but instead signaled to Ash to let him fight. Ash gave a helpless look, meaning, please, I'm just watching the fun, okay? Suddenly, Ash suddenly realized something and said, Heracross, use Horn Attack to fly to your southeast to attack. Before everyone reacted, they heard a scream. This time we finally got a chance to play. The result is like this again. What a disgusting feeling. There is no doubt that this is the voice of the trio who have been playing supporting roles, because Ash remembered that Team Rocket must intervene at this time to make trouble. In order to make the duel go smoothly, Ash directly beat them away. There is no trouble now, and the battle starts smoothly. At the beginning, Chigusa commanded Kaburo to attack Shawarang continuously, but because his moves were too competitive, Shawarang's defense was impenetrable, and his own strength was not enough. And Shiro Shawarang soon saw the flaw, and he was defeated after a series of attacks. Ash had no choice but to fight Shiro as the heir, and he still used Heracross to fight. In fact, Shawarang's moves are also mainly based on leg techniques, which can easily break Kaburo's spiral kick. Shawarang, use Whirlwind Kick. Heracross, avoid Siege. Use the Air Bomb. Heracross gently turned his body to avoid Shawarang's first attack. At the same time, he condensed an Air Bomb with his left hand and threw it at Shawarang, which was avoided by Shawarang with a bounce. Shawarang, use Jump Kick. Because Shawarang is in the air now, Shiro asked him to use Jump Kick so that the power can be maximized. Heracross, catch him head on, and then use Brick Break. After Heracross caught it with both claws, he slammed it to the ground with one palm. Shavarang, stand up, use Double Kick. It must be said that this Shavarang's physical fitness is indeed high. After it stood up, it directly kicked with Double Kick. Heracross dodges the first kick without waiting for Ash's order. When the second kick comes, it actually spreads its wings and flies up, then turns into a residual image, and then Shavarang is hit by Heracross's horn. What a strong, independent fighting consciousness! Chigusa exclaimed. The last blow, Mega Horn. After Ash's order came down, Shavarang was tackled again, and its fighting ability was healed. Shavarang loses its fighting ability. Heracross wins. Shiro didn't say anything. After taking back the Shavarang, he told Ash that he would challenge him again in the future and left. At this point, Chigusa finally reacted and came to Ash to ask him to give him special training. Chigusa, in fact, there is nothing wrong with some contest moves, but the premise of this is that the Pokémon itself is strong enough. Your Kaboro has not undergone physical training, so even in the dazzling moves, the flaws will be seen at a glance, which will have an adverse effect on you, you know? As a trainer, you can't just let Pokémon do something they don't want to do for your so-called visual enjoyment. You and Kaboro are not particularly skilled in tacit understanding. Chigusa finally reacted and apologized to his grandfather humbly. He also promised Kaboro that he would not make it uncomfortable for the so-called contest moves. Next, Ash did some special training on Kaboro's own ability to help Chigusa and Kaboro increase their tacit understanding. 2 days later, Ash and the others left. I believe that now Chigusa will not be like before. He will train his Pokémon down to earth, instead of focusing only on appearance like before. To be continued, the third update. Not finished yet. Chapter 64, Totodile Evolution, Frog and Frog for 12ths. Please subscribe. Congratulations, Ash, Totodile has evolved too. I guess there's a little reluctance in it. The thing is, when passing by a forest, Ash looked at it and decided to stop and give Totodile some intensive training. Last time, under Wartortle's training, Totodile actually learned Sword Dance, an auxiliary skill that can improve its attack based on its characteristic of loving dancing. It also learned Water Pulse from Wartortle and has become more active recently. Splash. After learning about this, Ash decided to exchange Totodile and send Snorlax back. This big guy had taught it some very powerful moves before, so it would be good to let it go back and consolidate them. Then, Ash sent Kalava as the rival of the small saw. In terms of attribute, Totodile has an advantage, but because Quilava's level is higher than Totodile, and Totodile has not yet evolved to the first stage, the specific battle still depends on them. Kalava, Totodile, I won't be here to command you in this battle. You have to fight on your own. This is also a kind of training for you, understand? Kalava and Totodile nodded. Then, the battle began. Both sides greeted each other with flamethrower and water gun, respectively. The steam from the collision of water and fire blocked everyone's sight. Then, Totodile saw the opportunity and rushed up directly, hitting Kalava with his left claw. This is a slash skill, but Kalava easily dodged it. Totodile saw that he couldn't hit it, so he shook his tail and used the Aqua Tail skill, but Kalava dodged it again. Kalava was very good at dodging attacks when he was a Cyndaquil. After the evolution, because his body did not become heavier, his body was still relatively flexible. Ash let him practice his agility more, so that when he evolved into Deflosion, it would not be so easy. Kalava easily dodged Totodile's successive attacks, whether it was hitting with his hands, biting with his mouth, or flicking his tail. He didn't touch Kalava at all. When Totodile was a little tired, Kalava rushed and knocked Totodile away. Although Totodile was knocked away, he still had a fighting consciousness. He saw the opportunity, opened his mouth, and prepared to use Ice Fang. As a result, Kalava wrapped himself up and covered his whole body with flames, so the effect of Ice Fang was naturally gone. Then, Kalava spun again and knocked Totodile away with Flame Wheel. By chance, the burning effect came out again, and Totodile felt that he was about to fall down. Totodile, stand up. Are you willing to be defeated by the reverse attribute rival? Ash's words awakened Totodile. It stood up tremblingly, shouted loudly, and emitted white light all over its body. Then, Totodile's height gradually increased, and there were off-white patterns on its belly. The bone plates on its head, back, and tail also became sharper. Okay, the battle ends here. Seeing that Totodile had evolved into Croconaw, Ash had achieved his goal, and Croconaw's physical strength was not enough after the evolution, so he stopped the battle. Asking for flowers, Zero then, the scene at the beginning appeared. This time, the Johto region's 3 major families have completed the first stage of evolution. They are now at a riverside, ready to take a rest. Croconaw, after this evolution, you have to learn some ice skills, and your teeth will become more powerful. Crunch and Ice Fong must be strengthened, understand? 1. Then, Ash began to teach it the 2 skills of Blizzard and Freezing Beam. As for Icy Wind, he would teach it after it was proficient in these 2 skills. On the other side, Misty was also playing with her water Pokémon. It is worth mentioning that Misty's Stereo has evolved into Starmie, because Ash gave her a Water Stone last time, and she let Stereo evolve. When Misty's frog swam, it slowly moved away from them. At this time, a stronger frog appeared beside it, and it knocked Frog into the water with 1 punch. After Frog struggled, it came directly behind Misty, as if it was very afraid of this frog. This frog is really too cruel, Misty said bitterly. After all, the character of the frog is a bit violent, and the fighting instinct makes it look fierce. Ash brought Croconaw and Pikachu to Misty's side after seeing the situation. What happened to my frog? To be continued, the 4th update. Still trying to come up with a plot for my hard work. Can you please subscribe? Chapter 65 Seeking Fishing Competition, May 12th. Please subscribe. Hey, you are a bit unreasonable. That's right, your frog just ran behind you and hid after being hit by my frog. You are too timid. That's why your frog has never evolved. You just don't have enough experience. The thing is, when Misty's frog was swimming in the water, it met a very arrogant frog. Without saying a word, it hit the frog. As a result, the trainer of the frog was also the kind of arrogant and unreasonable person. Not only did he not apologize, but he also bit back. Then the scene at the beginning appeared. After hearing this, Ash couldn't help but stand up and say, I thought 320 was a good trainer for you. I didn't expect you to be so ridiculous. After hearing what he said, Shifu said angrily, What do you mean by this? It's obvious that you don't know how to evolve. There are 2 ways to evolve Frog. One is to use Water Stone to evolve into a water and fighting type frog. The other is to use King's Rock to teleport and evolve into Bullfrog. It is not a matter of level and experience points, as you said. I think the reason why you don't know these 2 ways of evolution is because this frog was captured when it was Frog. No wonder it looks uneducated. Ash was speechless about this kind of person. Ignorance is not wrong, but it is wrong to show off after ignorance. After being provoked by Ash's words, Shifu said to him angrily, Stop talking nonsense. If you have the ability, fight with my frog. I think the battle should be saved for the Seeking Fishing competition later. Then I will defeat you fair and square. Seeking Fishing Conference? How did you know about this event? Shifu asked in surprise. The fishing rod on your back. And I have heard that Seeking Fishing Conference is an event often held in Johto region, specifically to attract fishing enthusiasts or trainers like Misty who are more passionate about water-type Pokémon to participate, right? I didn't expect you to know so much. However, if you really come to participate, I will definitely beat you. After Shifu left, Misty asked, Ash, are you serious? Just follow and see, won't you know? Ash shrugged and said, Sure enough, following Shifu's footsteps to the venue, there are indeed many trainers carrying fishing rods, and they are accompanied by the Pokémon they brought with them to participate in this fishing competition. The scene here is a small pond with lush aquatic plants, where many well-developed Magikarp live. As for the rules, they're similar to the insect catching conference. You can bring your own fishing rod or rent one. You can catch many Seekings within the specified time, but only one can be put into the conference's special lake ball. As for the winning method, it depends on the weight of the Seeking you put into the lake ball. The heaviest one wins this time. The prize is a very exquisite Seeking trophy, in addition to a year of chocolate. After seeing it, Misty made up her mind and said, I have decided I will participate in this fishing competition, and my partner is this mosquito frog. Then I will participate too, and I will use this Croconaw. Ash patted the Croconaw beside him, just in time for it to get familiar with the new moves. Xiaojing, Pikachu is up to you. Because he can only bring one, Ash gave Pikachu to Xiaojing for safekeeping. Don't worry, leave it to me. Misty had her own fishing rod, but Ash didn't have one, so he rented 10 fishing rods. It is worth mentioning that Ash did not attend this fishing conference for seeking, because he just used a wave guide to explore the bottom of the water and found that there were other water-type Pokémon here. He wanted to try his luck to see if he could meet one, so the fishing competition began. Ash did not know how to fish at all, but he had seen many fishing videos and techniques in his previous life, so he tried to imitate them. At most, he could use the wave guide secretly. But this scene was soon noticed by Misty, who could not help but complain. Ash, are you still using the wave guide at this time? No way. Nan is not a professional fisherman. After all, if he did not use the ready-made psychic, he would be sorry for his identity as a time traveler. Because Ash wanted Misty to win, he used the lake ball to capture a medium-sized seeking and secretly captured a Pokémon with the Pokémon ball. This could not be considered a foul because he captured it himself. Misty had a lot of fishing experience, and she had a special Misty bait. Influenced by her luck, she caught a super large seeking, which was over 50 kilograms. In the final evaluation, Misty's seeking weighed 56 kilograms. Although Shifu was the first to catch a seeking, and the size was not small, it was 55 kilograms, 1 kilogram less than Misty's, so 1.4. The winner this time was Misty. How about it? I defeated you fair and square this time, Ash said to Shirtion with Misty. I lost this time, but I will definitely win back next time. Shifu said. A year of chocolate was obtained. This thing will have a great effect in future cooking, and it is also a good choice to use it as a snack. In this way, Ash and his party continued to move towards the direction of Yuanju City. To be continued, guess what Pokemon Ash will capture? Please subscribe, give rewards, give flowers, support. Put your hands together and ask for anything. Chapter 66, Goodbye Vulpix, Part 1. 6/12, please subscribe. Ash and his team, who were aiming for the Johto Region Alliance, continued to move towards their next target, Yuanju City. On this day, they came to a Pokemon Center in a town. Is Xiaojing checking if anyone has sent him a letter? Misty said while eating with Ash at the Pokemon Center. In terms of this kind of attentiveness, we are indeed not as good as him. Ash answered while taking care of Ralts. In fact, the original Ash was not as attentive as Xiaojing. Since he crossed over, he has slowly changed this bad habit. Now, since Ralts has been staying by his side, he has also learned to become patient and attentive. Ralts was also very happy to be with Ash. He looked like nothing out of place on Ash's head every day, although the color was a bit funny. 24 at this time, Xiaojing suddenly shouted, Wow, Miss Vivi sent me an email. Miss Vivi? Is she the Pokemon breeder Miss Vivi we met in the beauty street? Misty said uncertainly after hearing Xiaojing's words. Looking at Xiaojing's expression, it should be. Ash thought for a while and said, This matter can be traced back to the Kanto trip. At that time, Xiaojing met Vivi and was instantly obsessed with her. Later, because of some things, Vivi gave Vulpix to Xiaojing to take care of. At the beginning, it was agreed that the next time we met, we would return Vulpix. It seems that now is the time. The reason why Ash has an impression, in addition to the memory of the previous life, is mainly because she has beautiful green long hair, which is very beautiful, so it is a little more impressive. What did she say? She said she will be in the Pokemon breeder competition held in Burrow Town this time, and she is looking for a partner now, Xiaojing said to Ash and Misty after looking at the email. Although it is a long way to go, I still want to go dash. Of course, how can I miss such an important occasion? Ash clapped his hands and said with certainty, Xiaojing, we will go with you. Who said we are companions? Misty nodded. So, they came to Burrow Town according to Xiaojing's idea. The Pokemon here are very beautiful. It is worthy of being the town that will host the Pokemon breeder competition. Misty looked at the cute Pokemon everywhere and couldn't help but praise. Ash looked and found that some Pokemon were dressed in strange shapes and paid too much attention to the appearance, which was not a good thing for the Pokemon itself. On the contrary, Pokemon like Vulpix, which are outstanding in natural aspects such as inner attractiveness and hair color, are the most impressive. Beauty contest. Xiaojing, do you want to dress up Vulpix? Misty suggested, but Ash shook his head secretly. Obviously, Misty still didn't know much about this. No need, Miss Vivi's Vulpix can be dazzling even without dressing up, Xiao Zhang said confidently. On the contrary, you, with your current appearance, must be very rude. I'm prepared for this, Ash said, took out a bracelet, and when he put it on his hand, a green light flashed, and Ash in formal clothes appeared in front of Xiao Zhang and Xiao. Seeing their surprised eyes, Ash said, I'm like this. Aren't you ready? Xiao Zhang's figure flashed, and as a result, Xiao Zhang in a white suit and holding a rose appeared in front of them. As for Misty, she changed into a nice dress under Ash's arrangement. To be honest, it was a bit uncomfortable to wear this dress for the first time, but for Xiao Zhang, she was still very willing. Suddenly, Vulpix broke free from Xiao Zhang's arms and ran forward. Vulpix, where are you going? Ash and others quickly followed the direction Vulpix ran, and then they saw a very beautiful girl, dressed in white, with green hair and delicate face. Isn't this Vivi that Xiao Zhang has been thinking about? Vulpix jumped directly into her arms, unable to stop charming. Miss Vivi, Ash and Misty were the first to meet her, and then they saw that Xiao Zhang was following slowly behind, obviously nervous. This guy was very active when he went up to flirt with other girls, but he fell behind at this critical moment. Ash didn't want to say anything about this. Ash, Misty, long time no see. Vivi greeted them with a smile. Miss Vivi, this is a little gift from me. Please accept it. Xiao Zhang covered his face with a bouquet of roses and handed it over tremblingly. When he finished speaking, his face was already red. Ash sighed helplessly. How could he retreat at this time? To be continued. I want to write this part in context. After all, our protagonist also has to take some actions secretly. Guess what he's going to do? Chapter 67, Goodbye Vulpix, Part 2, 7/12. Please subscribe. Vivi is the female character that is most related to Bakugo. Although Bakugo is lecherous towards Nurse Joy and Officer Jenny, it also reflects the type of partner that Bakugo wants to find, that is, a big sister. Vivi is the female character that matches Bakugo best since he joined the team, but only before the original arc. After the original arc, that is, in the Super Generation arc, there is another girl who has a good impression of Bakugo. If things go smoothly, Bakugo can probably announce that he is no longer single. Sneaky Joy. But now, Ash wants to add fuel to the fire. Whether it will succeed or not depends on fate. Hello, Miss Vivi. After Ash greeted Misty, Ash directly pulled his arm and said, Miss Vivi, Bakugo has something to say to you. Bakugo, this is a good opportunity. Don't miss it. Then, Ash let go of Bakugo and took Misty back a step. Ash, what do you mean? Misty asked, puzzled. Just watch it later. Ash said meaningfully. Miss Vivi, this is a little gift from me. Please accept it. Xiao Gang said hesitantly and handed the flower over. At this time, his face was already red. After Vivi accepted it, she said to him, Thank you. I am really happy to see you again. She laughed happily. No, Miss Vivi. Vulpix and I get along very well. Now, according to the agreement, I will return Vulpix to you. Really, thank you very much. Xiao Gang bowed lightly to thank Vivi. I should say thank you. Seeing that Vulpix is so lively and healthy now, you must have taken very good care of it. Are you really going to return Vulpix? After all, they have already said it in the email, and parting does not mean that we will never see each other again. Ash suddenly stood up and said, because he saw that although Xiao Gang was usually positive, he got stuck when it came to this kind of time. No wonder he couldn't find his true love. I think this is the way to go. Since Vulpix has been returned, Xiao Zhang, as a half-trainer of Vulpix, you should take Vulpix to participate in this beauty pageant, which can be regarded as a perfect end to your memories. I wonder what Miss Vivi thinks. Ash's words were undoubtedly behind the scenes. Otherwise, it would be unreasonable to be intercepted again. This is a good idea. Xiao Zhang, I will participate in the beauty pageant with you, and Vulpix will definitely be very happy. Obviously, Vivi agreed with Ash's suggestion. Two people, Miss Vivi and I. Xiao Zhang, who was already flushed, suddenly had blood rushing up and was about to fall on his back. Ash quickly caught him from behind and said in his ear, You'd better not make any mistakes. I can only help you so much. It's all up to you from now on, understand? After saying that, he secretly pinched him to cheer him up. What's going on? I'm checking the sheen of Ninetail's fur in the sun. We're all very focused. Can you please be quiet for a moment? At this moment, a sudden shout attracted Ash's attention, and he saw a boy arguing with Misty, who lowered her head and looked a little disappointed. It turned out that when Ash was holding Xiaojing, Misty suddenly saw a Ninetales with very shiny fur, and she was immediately attracted. After circling around Ninetales for a few times, she carefully asked the trainer who was combing its fur, "Hello, can I touch it?" Then it was the scene Ash saw. "Why are you doing this to her, Xiaoxiang?" Vivi took the initiative to help Misty out. Okay, I'm wrong. After all, the competition is about to start, and it's inevitable to be a little nervous and anxious. Oh, is your Vulpix back? The person called Xiaoxiang by Vivi apologized to Misty and couldn't help asking when he saw the Vulpix in her arms. Then the two started chatting. Ash still had some impression of this character. It seemed that he was a friend of Vivi in school days. His dream was to become a Pokémon breeder, and even their Pokémon were the same. So, he was a childhood sweetheart and Xiaojing's rival in love? Ash silently watched Xiaojing biting his bow tie and crying silently, and sighed helplessly in his heart. Compared with that, he had already lost at the starting point. However, the opinions of the two seemed to be a little inconsistent. Xiaoxiang focused on the hair and shape of Pokémon, a bit like a Pokémon beautician. Vivi focused on the inner Pokémon. For this reason, Xiaoxiang also evolved his Vulpix into Ninetales with the purpose of proving that he was right. Ash saw that if this continued, it would probably be like the original work again. No, he must do something. He suddenly thought of a Pokémon in Kalos region that looked like a poodle, but attentive trainers would use its hair to create various styles to improve the rapport between their Pokémon. This Pokémon was called Furfru, so he checked the system and found a collection of Furfru styles, which were not expensive, so he just bought it. So Ash pretended to take the collection out of his backpack, and everything seemed natural. Wow, Ash, what is this? It's so beautiful. Misty noticed what Ash had in his hand at first glance. This was the masterpiece of a Pokémon groomer from Kalos region, and this Pokémon was called Furfru. Because of its lush hair, some trainers who owned it would trim and shape it to improve the bond between themselves and Furfru. Ash introduced. Wait a minute, you said that the shapes above are all trimmed? Aren't they grown naturally? Xiaoxiang suddenly said. Of course, people's ideas are always diverse, and these shapes are all from the hands of stylists. Shape. Furfru. Kalos. Xiaoxiang looked at the album in his hand and gradually lost his mind. Xiaoxiang. Vivi seemed to be affected. During the competition, Vivi and Xiaoxiang performed abnormally, but fortunately Vivi's partner Xiaogang performed normally, plus Vulpix's own charm, so they won the first place. It seems that I lost? Vivi, I lost. You and your Vulpix are really amazing. No, this is all Xiaojang's work, Xiaoxiang. Actually, you don't have to say it, Vivi, Liao Liao Zhao. I know what you're going to say. My current practice is not enough. The picture album just now, if it were me, I would not be able to make that Mew shape. So I changed my mind. I want to continue to practice and become a Pokemon beautician. He has decided to go to Kalos region to learn that style. Although Vivi already knew something, she didn't expect him to be so decisive. She felt a little upset, but all words were useless. After expressing her deep wishes, the two shook hands and watched each other leave. Gon wanted to go forward, but Ash held him back and shook his head at him. After saying goodbye to Vivi, he continued his journey to be continued. As for Gon's other half, there will definitely be one. What do you think? Will it be Vivi or Xiaoji who fights against Pike Queen, or the sister who plays doubles with him in Sinnoh, or all of them? You can leave a message in the comment area, and we will decide when the time comes. The picture is Furfru. Please refer to it. Chapter 68 Flash Shuckle, Geodude Evolution, 8/12. Please subscribe. Xiaojing, didn't Miss Vivi say anything to you at that time? Misty asked curiously. No, at that time, I think I should give Miss Vivi some time to herself. It turned out that when Ash and the others parted with Vivi, Vivi opened her mouth and wanted to say something to Xiaojing, but Xiaojing did not turn back directly, but resolutely stepped on the road ahead. The careful Misty noticed this and wanted to tell Xiaojing, but Ash held her back and signaled with his eyes. So Misty had to give up. Misty, I think Xiaojing also noticed Miss Vivi's expression. I think the reason why he didn't turn back was because Xiaoxiang's matter was a big blow to her. At this time, Xiaojing couldn't say anything. So he wanted to give Miss Vivi some time to ease this matter. But don't worry, if it's fate, there will definitely be a chance to contact each other. Ash comforted. Suddenly, Ash obviously felt something and rushed in one direction. Ash, Ash, where are you going? Misty shouted when she saw Ash walking away. Come with me. I found something good. Hearing Ash say this, Misty and Xiaojiang had no choice but to follow his direction. After arriving at where Ash was, Misty and Xiaojiang looked around and asked, Ash, what did you find? Just now my waveguide detected that there are many Pokémon of the same family with similar waveguides. Special waveguide? What kind of Pokémon is that? Pikachu. Ash winked at Pikachu, and Pikachu understood and smashed a special stone in front of him with Iron Tail. And suddenly, a spherical red Pokémon appeared. What kind of Pokémon is this? They asked. This is Shuckle, a bug and rock Pokémon. It has a gentle personality and doesn't like fighting. Although it doesn't have a high attack power, it has a high defense power. What's special about it is that it can contain medicinal materials in the shell behind it. After fermenting the tree and medicinal materials in the shell behind it, it can make delicious juice and medicinal liquid. Ash introduced. Is it so powerful? Xiaojiang exclaimed. Is it a bug? Misty couldn't help asking as she looked at it. It's okay, Misty. Although it has a bug type, isn't it cute just from the appearance? Now that you mention it, it seems so. When seeing Misty and Shuckle playing well, Ash secretly said, Xiaojiang, how about catching one? When you become a Pokémon breeder in the future, it will be of great help to you. Although Xiaojiang's dream is still to be a breeder, when his dream becomes a Pokémon doctor, it is estimated that it will definitely help him a lot. I catch it, but didn't you find this? Xiaojiang was obviously interested in this. Shuckle was tempted, but still felt a little guilty. I'm not a big fan of this kind of Pokémon, so it's a big help to you. Moreover, I sensed a special wave. Wouldn't it be a step closer to your dream? Ash said. Xiaojiang nodded. So he sent Geodude to win the battle. Then, the group continued to look for the special wave Seth. Ash knew that it was a flash Shuckle, but it was better for him to hide it. After all, no one would believe it if he told them. Wait a minute. Ash noticed that a stone in the middle of the road was emitting the special wave just now, and asked them to stop. Pikachu, Iron Tail, attacks the piece of cloth. When Pikachu slashed the stone, a blue-shelled Shuckle appeared in front of them. Wow, it's a blue Shuckle, just like Ash's Noctowl. They're all flash Pokémon. Misty exclaimed. It seems that this is the Pokémon we are looking for. Ash nodded. Xiaojiang, put it into sleep or confusion contest condition, and then use Friend Ball to capture it, so that it will be much easier to train it. Okay, then I'll leave it to you, Geodude. Use Dizzy Punch. This Dizzy Punch is a new trick that Ash taught Geodude during the special training before. Sure enough, after using this trick, Shuckle, who originally didn't have much energy contest condition, suddenly fell into confusion contest condition. Xiaojiang decisively threw Friend Ball to capture this song flash. I captured Shuckle. Ash, thank you so much. Xiaojiang felt that Ash did too much for him, helping him find a partner, and considering himself first when encountering a good Pokémon. Such unintentional behavior made Xiaojiang very grateful. In fact, although Ash likes Pokémon, he is not the kind of obsessive-compulsive control. He checked the Shuckle and found that the combat awareness was not that strong. It would take a long time to train it. Now I have to focus on training Ralts. After all, I will fight in the gym soon. Ash decided to let her go to lay the foundation for the future Super Queen, and his Pokémon pool must be expanded. It's okay, Xiaojiang, as companions, shouldn't we help each other? Ash waved his hand, indicating that this was not worth mentioning. At this time, Geodude jumped up and down, emitting dazzling white light all over his body. After a while, Geodude's figure became taller. His lower body also grew 2 feet. His arms became longer, and his whole body exuded a different momentum. This is the evolution of Geodude Graveler. It seems that today is your lucky day, Xiaojiang. Ash said with a smile. Please give me more advice in the future, Graveler. Oh, have you captured that special Shuckle? Just when they were still happy, a sudden voice interrupted them. Is anyone talking? Why can't I see anything? Misty looked around and saw no one. Look carefully. I'm here. Misty looked down and saw Oxydagarba Bodhisattva wearing a bamboo hat is talking. Misty, you are a bit rude. Ash came forward and squatted down and said to the old man, "Hello, old man Shuckle. Young man, you actually know me? Just now I found a lot of Shuckles with wooden plugs on the roadside. I guess it must be yours. Good eyesight, I'm old man Shuckle. However, you may first still let you capture that Shuckle. It can make medicine that makes Pokemon and humans intimate. I've been looking for it for a long time." "So, Grandpa, you are a pharmacist?" Xiaojing asked. "Are you very knowledgeable? Are you also a doctor?" "No, I'm just a breeder. By the way, Grandpa, since you are a pharmacist, please give Xiaojing some advice." Ash suddenly requested, "I can see that you have trained those Shuckles that were released just now very well. Please be sure to teach Xiaojing the secret recipe and experience." Ash! Seeing Ash fighting for himself so hard, Xiaojing was also very moved. "Okay, since you have a connection with this blue Shuckle, I will teach you. However, you also have to help me do something," the old Shuckle said. "Now the Shuckles in the back mountain have gone to collect herbs, but there are too many, and I can't handle it alone." "That's no problem." Ash patted his chest and agreed. "Xiaojing will stay here to learn from Grandpa, and the recycling will be left to me and Misty." So, the group came to the home of Old Man Shuckle and introduced their Bellsprout to them, and asked their Bellsprout to take Ash and Misty to find Shuckle. "Ralts, Pikachu, you also go to help Bellsprout to recover Shuckle in order to add more manpower." Ash sent Ralts and Pikachu out. Rallo, Pika. The two Pokemon followed the direction of Bellsprout to recover Shuckle. At first, it was okay. Misty and Ash could handle it. But as more and more Shuckles were recovered, they were a little overwhelmed, and Ash had no choice but to send Bayleaf to assist. At this time, soaring in the sky suddenly lowered a large net and caught the Shuckles. "What's going on?" "Since you asked sincerely, we will tell you mercifully. In order to prevent the world from being destroyed, in order to protect the peace of the world, the evil of love and justice is implemented, the cute and attractive villain. Jesse, James, we are Team Rocket traveling through the galaxy. White hole, white tomorrow is waiting for us, that's its sonum. Finally, I can say all the lines. We've been waiting for this day for a long time. Team Rocket, release the Shuckles." Ash didn't have time to listen to their nagging. "Don't even think about it. We've taken these Shuckles away. If you don't accept my toast, you'll have to drink the penalty." Bellsprout, Razor Leaf cut off the net. Bayleaf, Plant Frenzy catch them. Pikachu, Thunderbolt. Ralts mentally strengthen them. After a series of orders were issued, Team Rocket's action failed again, and they flew directly into the sky. I finally got a chance to play, but they were beaten away in less than a minute. What a disgusting feeling. Finally, Misty and Ash successfully recovered all the Shuckles in the back mountain. Xiaojing also got the secret recipe of Old Man Shuckle and mastered the technology of how to use Shuckle to make medicine correctly. After saying goodbye to Old Man Shuckle, the group continued their journey to be continued Chapter 69. Meet Gary again versus Moon Pokemon, September 12th. Please subscribe. I'm Xiao Deng from Yoshino City. Let's duel. One day, Ash and his friends were walking on the way to Yuju City and suddenly heard a voice coming from the front. "There seems to be something going on ahead. Let's go and take a look." The three of them walked over and found that it was Gary, and there was a moon Pokemon next to him. "It's a moon Pokemon. It seems that the EV has evolved into a moon Pokemon," Xiaojing said. "EV, this Pokemon, is a very peculiar species. As we all know, EV has a total of 8 evolutionary forms, namely Fire Pokemon, Lightning Pokemon, Water Pokemon, Sun Pokemon, Moon Pokemon, Leaf Pokemon, Ice Pokemon, and Sylveon. Of course, the last 3 forms are still in the undiscovered contest condition. Ash has always been attracted to the Pokemon EV. Apart from its various evolutionary forms, EV has another special feature. That is, it is also a partner Pokemon. That is, it can use 8 evolutionary forms of partner moves without evolving. If I really catch an EV in the future, I can consider training it. And now, Gary's battle is about to begin. The Pokemon that Xiao Deng took out is Alakazam. Doesn't he know that the attribute of the opposite moon Pokemon is Alakazam, which completely counters him? Ash checked the relevant information of Alakazam. Although it has learned a lot of moves, it is not as qualified as Gary's moon Pokemon. It is just that the blue is getting darker, while the moon Pokemon is getting darker purple, which is already a big gap. Alakazam, use Zap Cannon. Moon Pokemon Dodge. The Moon Pokemon is very fast and directly dodges Alakazam's Zap Cannon. Alakazam, use Mind Interference. Alakazam closed his eyes and used a special move. But this was a Psychic-type move and had no effect on the Dark-type Moon Pokemon. In that case, Alakazam, use Iron Head. But obviously, this move was also dodged by the Moon Pokemon very quickly. The speed is very good, and it can be seen that it has been carefully cultivated. Ash couldn't help but say, Moon Pokemon, Quick Attack. Alakazam, teleport away. When the Moon Pokemon rushed over, Alakazam disappeared directly on the spot, but Gary's expression was not very nervous now, as if he was feeling something. Alakazam, use the Destruction Death Ray now. Moon Pokemon Avoid. When the Destruction Death Beam was released, Alakazam was also disturbed by the side effects, which gave Gary a good opportunity. In the end, he defeated Alakazam with a hidden power. After Xiao Ding left, Ash came forward and said to Gary, Gary, your Moon Pokemon is very well trained. It's Ash. I didn't expect you to come here too. How about a fight? Of course, I'd love to. Soon, the battle between Ash and Gary, the old enemies, will begin. Pikachu, fight your old rival. That's right. Ash sent Pikachu again. Seeing that it was Pikachu, Gary didn't dare to be careless because last time he was caught off guard by this Pikachu, and this time he would never underestimate the enemy again. Moon Pokemon, Quick Attack. Pikachu, use Double Team to avoid. As a result, the Moon Pokemon only hit one of Pikachu's clones. Moon Pokemon, Hidden Power. Pikachu used the ball. Electro Ball and Hidden Power collided, and the explosion made the field blurry. Pikachu rushed in and used Volt Tackle. Pika 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 Pika. Pikachu kept running forward, emitting strong sparks all over his body. Oh no, Moon Pokemon, get out of the way. Unfortunately, it was a step too slow after all. After the collision, it was affected by static electricity and the Moon Pokemon could not move. Finally, it was knocked to the ground by Pikachu's Thunderbolt. Ash, you really have become stronger. Gary sighed. Gary, when you have time, practice more Dark-type moves of Moon Pokemon. I watched the battle just now. In addition to the advantage in attribute, your Moon Pokemon also has an advantage in speed. However, you haven't learned many Dark-type moves yet. Is it because the Moon Pokemon has just evolved and you don't know how to use it? Hearing Ash say this, Gary was stunned at first, but also nodded. Yes, what Ash said was true. Do your best. I look forward to fighting with you at the Silver Conference. Ash stretched out his hand. After seeing this, Gary smiled slightly, stretched out his hand, and shook his hand together. I hope we can have a duel without regrets. Then, the two of them parted ways. After arriving at the Pokémon Center, Ash secretly let Pikachu teach the Rocket Trio, who wanted to make Trouble a lesson while they were not paying attention. I don't even have a chance to appear this time. What a disgusting feeling. Ash is communicating with Professor Oak. He asked Professor Oak to teleport Alakazam over and teleport Slowpoke, Croconaw, and the newly captured Pokémon at the fishing conference back. Currently, Ash's lineup includes Pikachu, Ralts, Kalava, Bayleaf, Alakazam, and the newly teleported Noctowl. After resting overnight at the Pokémon Center, they set out again. To be continued, EV must be captured. How to set it up then? It's getting closer and closer to the next badge. 6. Chapter 70. Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind. Noctowl's new trick. October 12th. Please subscribe. On this day, Ash and his friends came to a valley with beautiful scenery. The valley has fresh air and pleasant scenery, and is a good place for sightseeing. For Ash, this place is a good place for special training because he knows that the next place is the Valley of the Wind, so he teleported Noctowl here before. According to Professor Oak, Noctowl received devilish training from Pidgeot in Professor Oak's laboratory. On the one hand, it was training in speed, such as Pidgeot flying in front and letting Noctowl chase behind, but basically being left behind and eating dust. On the other hand, it trained the owl in the use of flying skills, and from time to time, they would test the effectiveness through battles. As a result, 390 was naturally crushed by Noctowl unilaterally. However, in this crushing, it also learned many moves such as Air Slash, Wing Attack, Fierce Hurricane, and Yinsi. Just when Ash was about to release the owl, The group saw a very powerful Ledian flying freely in the forest and avoiding all the trees. What a powerful Ledian! Misty couldn't help but praise. Although Misty was afraid of insect Pokémon, there were different types of insects such as Ash's Heracross and the beetle and ladybug Pokémon in front of Ledian, which she was not afraid of. They followed the Ledian to the valley, and suddenly a strong wind blew from the valley, blowing Ledian back. After seeing this, Ash immediately stopped Ledian's actions, of course, using his own wave power to help it stabilize its body. His wave power is not just as simple as communicating with Pokémon. In a word, his wave power is like a technology tree, which may not necessarily light up any special skills. This time, it was confusion that was lit up. Pidgeotto, stop. After this, the wind in the valley stopped, and then a boy came with a Pidgeotto. After the boy saved Ledian, he looked at Ash curiously and said, "Thank you for saving Ledian." "Excuse me, was that confusion just now?" "Yes, Ash is a psychic." "Sorry, you were not injured just now, right?" At this time, a man came with a larger Pidgeotto and Ledian. Seeing this, Ash understood that the strong wind just now was blown by Pidgeotto. The reason for this is to train Ledian's ability to fly in strong winds. And this special training method is what every flying Pokémon should train. After all, flying in the sky all the time will definitely encounter such situations, and many flying type tricks are related to wind. Is this your first time here? That child is my son, named Shiro. This is the Valley of the Wind, the forest ranger of our hill. My name is Ash, and these two are my companions, Xiaojing and Misty. We're going to Yuanju City, and we'll pass by here. After introducing each other, they followed Shiro and his son to where they were. Suddenly, Ash felt something and jumped to the side with Pikachu, saying, "Be careful." Unfortunately, Misty's Togepi and Shiro's Ledian were caught by the sudden big net. "Ledian, what's going on?" Shiro shouted. "Since you asked sincerely, we will tell you mercifully, to prevent the world from being destroyed, to protect the world's peace." "Okay, Team Rocket, your lines are too long-winded. Can you change them next time?" Ash couldn't help but interrupt after hearing this stereotyped line. The three members of Team Rocket said angrily, "Hey, little brat, interrupting others is very rude. Although we didn't catch Pikachu, it's not bad to catch the little girl's Togepi and this Ledian." Noctowl, air / their air balloon. Ash didn't want to talk anymore, so he released Noctowl. With just one strike, he broke Team Rocket's hot air balloon, and when Togepi and Ledian fell, he caught them with confusion. As for Team Rocket, what a disgusting feeling. I don't need to say more. After this episode, Ash decided to train the owl in this Valley of the Wind. With its intelligence, it should be able to comprehend new tricks. Noctowl, this time you have to learn to use the wind here to stabilize your flying and also comprehend new tricks, understand? After giving instructions, Noctowl turned his head and began to follow Ash's footsteps to train. After constantly consuming physical strength and getting injured, the owl learned the recovery skill Roost and just needs to pay attention in the battle. What surprised Ash the most was that Noctowl not only comprehended Sky Attack, the ultimate move of the flying system, but also another trick, Brave Bird. Although this 1.8 special move will cause rebound damage to oneself, compared with Sky Attack, it does not require stockpile and has a faster attack speed. Although this is a special move introduced in the 4th generation, Noctowl was able to comprehend it, which also gave Ash a big surprise. Correspondingly, Noctowl's qualification also became purple and deeper. After taking back Noctowl, Ash and his friends also said goodbye to Shiro and his son and continued to go to Yuzu City. To be continued, new special moves are here. I wonder if everyone is satisfied? For each Pokémon of the protagonist, I will let them learn the representative special moves of each generation and attribute, such as Brave Bird, which was introduced in the 4th generation. Everyone look forward to it. Chapter 71 Duplica and Ditto, 11/12. Please subscribe. After a day of training in the Valley of the Wind, Ash and his team continued their journey. Just after they came down the mountain, they saw a Pokémon Center. "Is anyone there?" Ash asked after they entered. Nurse Joy is usually very busy. Although Nurse Joy can often be seen at the front desk receiving guests, this does not mean that Nurse Joy is very idle. She is still quite busy most of the time. Lucky. This voice belongs to Chansey, Nurse Joy's partner. Then Nurse Joy appeared in front of them and said, Miss Rand, he just went out for a medical consultation. What's going on? Isn't this Nurse Joy? Misty asked in confusion as she looked at the Nurse Joy in front of her. Ash looked carefully and said, No, she is not the real Nurse Joy. Along the way, they passed many Pokemon centers and saw many Nurse Joys. But the Nurse Joy in front of them was very different from the ones they had seen before, which was also inferred by Ash based on his experience. Well, actually, he said that because he saw that Gang Yi Xiao Gang behind him didn't make any movement. It has been mentioned before that Xiao Gang has a special ability, which is to distinguish Nurse Joy and Officer Jenny in different places. Although they look very similar, Xiao Gang can tell Nurse Joy and Officer Jenny in any place at a glance. Not only that, as long as Xiao Gang sees Nurse Joy or Officer Jenny, he will first teleport to her, and then either offer roses or hold her hand to make a cheesy and embarrassing confession. But now, Xiao Gang didn't move at all, which shows that the Nurse Joy in front of him is not the real Nurse Joy. Haha, Ash, you actually found out I'm obviously a perfect disguise. As soon as the voice fell, this Nurse Joy revealed her true face. Ditto. After the little Stephanie shouted, Chansey beside her became Ditto. According to the memory of his previous life, Ash suddenly recalled that there was such a trainer with a Ditto beside him. So you were Duplica. Yes, everyone, long time no see. Miss Duplica, how did you get here? Misty asked curiously. Misty's Togepi and Ash's Pikachu came over with great interest and touched the face of the Ditto. After all, its face was still very elastic. I came here because of this. Duplica handed over a poster. Pokémon Performance Festival? Are you invited to participate? Ash asked. Well, the Pokémon Performance Festival will invite performers from all over the country to come here, and it will last for a whole week, Duplica introduced slowly. It will test the various skills and specialties of Pokémon. This event has always been very famous. Since he received the invitation, it means that Duplica has already gained some fame. It really sounds amazing. At this time, the real Nurse Joy came over with a Pokemon ball in her hand and said to Duplica, Ms. Duplica, your Pokemon has been checked, and there is no problem. Seeing this, Ash handed his Pokemon to Nurse Joy to recuperate. By the way, everyone, let me introduce you. This is my new partner, Ditto 2 Ditto. Then, she released another Ditto, which was a little bit smaller than the first one. If you don't look closely, you really can't see it. The four people sat in the yard and chatted. During the time, Duplica said, To be honest, this Ditto has a little problem. Later, after the demonstration, Ash and the others understood what was going on. It turned out that although this Ditto could transform into various Pokemon, the difference was limited to its own body shape. For example, if Ditto transforms into a small Pokemon like Pikachu or Togepi, you can't see anything. However, for example, Steelix and Graveler of Xiaojing, although their appearance has changed, their body size is much smaller than the original, which can be said to be a mini version. In fact, you don't have to worry. Ditto just can't change its size, which doesn't affect anything. Maybe such a small body can attract many children to come and watch. Ash comforted. Really, children normally like such small things, and it is the most suitable as a playmate. While they were still discussing, suddenly there was an explosion from the Pokemon Center. Ash and his friends rushed over and found two people on the roof. They were dressed the same as Ash and Duplica. Team Rocket, I guessed it was you. Ash was also speechless by these real protagonists. Sure enough, you detected it. Then, we have to take the mini Ditto away. Meowth pointed at the Ditto in Duplica's arms and said, 257-inch, this is absolutely impossible. As a result, they started fighting as soon as they disagreed. Duplica's Ditto and Wobbuffet became Jesse's Arbok and Wobbuffet respectively, and it was still difficult to tell the winner for a while. However, Jesse's Wobbuffet had its own ideas. Although Jesse kept shouting counter, he would use counter and mirror code according to his actual situation, which was also pointed out by Duplica. In the end, the Rocket Trio was still beaten out, and the other trainers, after seeing Duplica's Wobbuffet, also showed great interest and gathered around to watch. Duplica was also determined to capture more unique Dittos and set up a special Ditto troupe for everyone to watch. Ash and the others also said goodbye to Duplica and continued their journey. At the same time, on a tree on the cliff. Next time I will shout counter, and then you can decide whether to use counter or mirror coat. Synopsis. To be continued, let's arrange an EV for Gia. What do you think? Whether it's a partner Pokemon or other options, it's up to you. Chapter 72 Scyther's Ninjutsu Battle. 12/12. Please subscribe. Ash, why did you teleport Scyther back? Since I captured him, he has been training with Heracross in Professor Oak's laboratory. I came to see the results of his training. Ash and his friends were resting by the river. During this rest time, Ash decided to exchange Scyther, who he had captured at the insect catching conference, to see how he was training. I heard that after Scyther was teleported back, he had been fighting with Heracross. As a lone warrior of the insect race, constant fighting is the greatest exercise for himself. During this period of time, Scyther's progress has also been visible to the naked eye. Not only has he learned a lot of new moves, but what surprised Ash the most is that Scyther's hidden ability Unyielding Heart is about to awaken, which means that he can fully awaken this hidden ability after evolution. This is also the first Pokemon under Ash to awaken a hidden ability. After letting Pikachu and Scyther fight for a while, Ash said to him, "Take a break, Scyther, and then find a suitable opportunity for you to evolve." Scyther is also the Pokemon that Ash has dreamed of for a long time. Before Scyther nodded, he heard a scream from the other side. No need to guess, it must be Misty. The reason is that after Misty went to the river to wash her face, she saw a strange bush, so she and Togepi went forward to take a look curiously. But as the saying goes, curiosity kills the cat. It doesn't matter if she saw it. Misty was so scared that her soul flew away, and then there was that, according to Misty's personality, this growl is probably a bug Pokemon. Ash brought Scyther and Xiaojang to take a look and saw Misty shivering on the side. There was a big spider hiding in the bushes, and the color was still relatively bright. "Misty, are you okay?" Xiaojang asked. "This is Ariados, the evolved form of the ball of string." "No wonder Misty is so scared," Ash said. However, the Ariados in front of him didn't seem to be awakened, but remained motionless. The strangest thing was that he didn't seem to be resting. "Is this Ariados sensing? I found you, Ariados." Just then a female voice came from the tree. As soon as the voice fell, the girl jumped down from the tree. The girl looked very neat and tidy in her clothes, with a high ponytail on her head. The only thing that ruined the atmosphere was that her clothes were too brightly colored. In addition, there was a Venonat beside her. Based on the memory of his previous life, Ash remembered that the girl in front of him was Ms. Aya, the sister of Mr. Koga of the Fuchsia Gym. To be honest, if it weren't for the costume, it would be hard to imagine that Miss Aya was a ninja. After all, which ninja would wear such bright clothes? Xiaojang teleported to Miss Aya again. Miss Aya and I are indeed tied together by the red string of fate. Suddenly, a man's voice came from the side of the bush. "Ariados, start moving." Then, Ariados, who had been motionless, suddenly opened his eyes. "Scyther, quick guard." Almost at the same time, Ash also gave an order, and Scyther flashed to block Ariados' attack path to prevent it from attacking first. But Ariados also reacted quickly, spitting out a spider silk to swing to another tree. Preparing to attack again. "Still want a sneak attack?" Scyther cut. Scyther quickly drew his knife and chopped it over, and Ariados had to continue to dodge. Ariados, use pin missile. Scyther, air slash. The wind blades collided with the pin missile and were soon defeated, but Scyther disappeared on the spot. "Now use cut." Ariados, get out of the way. However, Ariados was unable to dodge and was hit by Scyther, suffering heavy damage. "That's it, Scyther. I say, Ariados trainer, it's time for you to show up." Ash asked Scyther to stop and shouted towards the bush. "You found me. It seems that I didn't lose unfairly." An older man who looked older came out from behind the tree and praised. "Young man, your Scyther breeder is very good." "Mr. Principal." Aya also came with Venonat. "Aya, who are these?" The principal was very interested in Ash's Scyther at first sight. Once introduced, Ash and the others also knew that the principal was the principal of the Pokemon Ninjutsu Academy in this forest, and Aya was now training there. At the principal's kind invitation, Ash and the others also came here. Well, actually it was Xiaojang who strongly requested to come. I wonder what will happen in the Ninjutsu Academy? Let's look forward to it. To be continued today, the big guy directly rewarded me 10,000 points, which was really flattering. I won't say more. I'm going to save the manuscripts and update them. Chapter 73, Evolution. Sizer, preparing to add more chapters for the reward from the boss. Please subscribe. Ash's Scyther is also on the verge of evolution, and it only needs an opportunity to evolve. And now, this opportunity has come. I just met an Ariados. Although it is much faster than the normal Ariados, it's still lost after fighting with Ash's Scyther. Coincidentally, there is a Pokemon Ninja Academy nearby. Miss Aya happens to be training here. The director happens to be the owner of this Ariados, and she is also very interested in Ash's Scyther. So, at the invitation of the director, Ash and the other three came to this Ninja Academy. Let me say here that although Miss I...
No more novels? Take part in the voting. The most requested novels and those with the most likes will be chosen for publication on euroaudiobooks.com. There, I can upload as much as I want without the risk of receiving a strike. Our 18 novels and other content that exceed what is morally acceptable are only published on Patreon or the free novels page. Remember, the site is funded by donations on Ko-fi and Patreon memberships.